True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, we're still in Florida, but we're in a part of Florida we don't venture off to that often, and we're talking about Kissimmee, Florida, because that's the side of tonight's card. The Puerto Rican card, that's pretty much what it is. Xander Zayas, Edgar Berlanga, Orlando Capo Gonzalez, Adorno. We got everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I just came to say what's up to you guys. Cause me and Pops, we've been going through the last couple of days. We won't get too much into it. We've been going through it as far as life. But we made it by the grace of God. We made it to Kissimmee. God's taking care of us. We here. And yeah, hold on. We got Pops with on. Let's see what Pop is saying over there. What's good, Pops?
You know what I'm saying? Living the life, Puerto Rican style, just chilling and dealing until tonight.
That's it, man. Hey, you telling all those Puerto Rican shit? Who are you going for in the main event tonight between Navarrete and Christopher Pitofo Diaz?
I support my Puerto Rican fighters, but I have to. My heart really is with Navarrete.
Man, he ain't Puerto Rican. Listen, he ain't Puerto Rican. Pops come and talk to me. He said, "Boy, yo soy boricua pa que lo sepa." But when it comes down to it, Pops ain't really supporting these Puerto Rican fighters, man. He only supports. Hold on. He only supports these fake Puerto Rican fighters, like Alberto Machado, who get knocked out every fight. But when it comes to support guys who actually deserve some respect, like Christopher Diaz, he can't get behind Christopher Diaz. Listen, I was just telling my dad. Right? This what he supports. He supports this. And if you wanna know what that is, that's cumbia. That's cumbia. That's the Mexican music. But your boy BT, you know what I support? I support that salsa. You know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is, man.
It's gonna be a great night tonight, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a great night.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, man. So hey, shout out to my boy Ghana Local Sports. He says I am on my way. Yeah, I'm gonna be finally meeting Ghana Local Sports today. So that's gonna be great. Shout out to my man Glenn Avey, Major Key Boxing. I'll be meeting him as well. So it's going to be a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Mr. 504. Shout out to my man out there in New Orleans. He says all the Puerto Rican fighters are winning tonight. Hey, that would be great. Who cares? Says, yo, what's up, champ? How you living? Yeah, right now it's the early stages of the day. We just got in last night. And I figured I just come here and talk some boxing with you guys. Talk about the card a little bit. I know the main event, which I'm now getting I'm getting a little bit more excited for the main event. But for me, the real main event, the real main event is gonna be Edgar Berlanga. I mean, come on now. That's the main reason I spent the money that I spent on these tickets. Don't even feel bad about it.
Is this opponent really legit, brother?
Huh?
Is this opponent really legit?
So Nicholson, I'll tell you what Nicholson. Nicholson is to Top Rank is. They got the best matchmakers in boxing, Top Rank. Nicholson is another gradual step up. His last couple of fights have been gradual step ups. Eric Moon was a guy that he had gone the distance when one solid formidable name at 168, which was Mike Guy. He lost to him, but had never been stopped. Then they stepped him up from Eric Moon to Ulysses Sierra, who has been in camp with a lot of top guys, never been stopped at all. So that was a slight step up. And this right here, Nicholson's a guy that's won regional titles. He's boxed Jesse Hart, took him rounds, had a split decision draw at Steve Rose. So he's a solid opponent for Edgar Berlanga at this stage in his career.
All right, the $1 million question I'm going to ask you.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Is Berlanga going to knock him out the first round?
No.
The streak ends?
But I said...
The streak ends. BT, the Untouchable Sports says Berlanga's streak ends.
But I say this, listen, I say this literally every fight of his. Because I keep thinking, you know what, hey, this guy's going to get his ass beat, but he'll be good enough to last the round, and Berlanga goes in there and blasts him out. So I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying it because Berlanga keeps proving me wrong. So I guess if I keep saying it, he'll keep knocking him out in the first round. So hell no, he ain't knocking shit out.
Add another new change to his collection tonight.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he said Edgar Berlanga said every time I knock someone out, he said every time I knock someone out, I'll get a new chain.
So Pop's going with a knockout. I'm going with a knockout. Until that's a thoroughbred right there. Until another thoroughbred gets up there with Berlanga style, ain't happening. He's taking him out. Good night, Irene. Good night. Viva Puerto Rico.
That's right. Kano says he'll be arriving at absolutely. I'll hit you up around then, Kano. Jesus M says, "Que onda? What's up, champ? How you living?" Yes, yeah, so, I'm very excited to see Edgar Berlanga fight for the first time in person. It's gonna be on a momentous occasion. Listen, we gotta support those South Florida fighters. You guys know I support those South Florida fighters all day. And my main man, Xander Zayas, a product of the Daily Pal. You know, the Daily Pal, the factory of champions. You know, the same gym that produced Teofimo Lopez, the same gym that produced Aaron Aponte, and this is also the same gym that produced Xander Zayas. And Xander Zayas is fighting tonight. I don't even know who the hell he's fighting. To be honest, truthfully, I don't even care. I'm just happy that I'm gonna watch Xander fight in person because Xander's a good fighter. He's growing. I mean, I'm watching his videos and on Instagram. And he looks like he's really, his body's maturing. You know, he's going from a kid, a boy, physically to a man physically, and it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to watch when you see Xander Zayas mature physically, and he's putting together those 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations. Because if you do that, you're looking at a guy that has a chance to go all the way and become that next pay-per-view star for Puerto Rico for Puerto Rican boxing. You know, him along in conjunction with Edgar Berlanga.
So that's a man grown punches gonna be thrown?
Grown man punches. You know what I'm saying? Jesus M says, "Are you at the fights?" Yes, I am. Me and my dad, we're currently about we're in a hotel that's about, I think, 7 to 10 miles from the arena. So, you know, we gonna be there. I got my tickets. I've been telling y'all, look, I've been telling y'all on these lives, the last couple of live fight reactions I did, I've been telling y'all. I said, look, I'm gonna be at all these fights soon. You're going to see me everywhere, right? Like right now, we're in Kissimmee. Next weekend, we'll be in Weston, back home in South Florida for one of the local cards. You got the best kept secret in the welterweight division, Pistol Pete Dobson, returning to the ring after a 1.5-year layoff. He'll be fighting. You got Blake Davis, one of South Florida and Daniel Beach's very own Isaiah Night Thompson, 3-0, 3 knockouts, all in the first round. He's coming for you, Lowen Sicoli, so get the fuck out one cruise maybe before my boy Isaiah Night Thompson gets up there.
Good night, baby.
So we'll be at that next weekend. The weekend after that is the Canelo fight. I'll be at that. Got my ticket already, so I'm gonna be in Texas. The 14th, I don't think there's anything going on, but the weekend after that, you know, I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking maybe Josh Taylor Ramirez, and then they got Haney Linares, and then after that we got Lopez Cambosos, and I plan on being at the lion's share of these fights. So the answer to your question, all right, the answer to your question is yes, I'm gonna be at all these fights. Ruben Crespo, Coney Island, stand up. He says the champ with the chocolate milk. No, stop it. This is not chocolate milk, my friend. You get a good look, Ruben. Get a good look. That's not chocolate milk. That is chocolate drink.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between chocolate milk and chocolate drink. This is you. If you know, you know. This is chocolate drink.
Oh shit! Shout out to Ruben though for
Yeah.
Pops, man. Shout out to you all day.
Hey, you know, Pops. Like, you got any message you want to give to the people out there?
Para Puerto Rico, todos los boricuas tienen que estar hoy en esta pelea. Aquí vamos a tener ajo con gandules, no vamos a tener comida cubana, no vamos a tener comida nicaragüense, no vamos a tener comida mexicana. Esto es puro boricua con puro salsa, para que lo sepa.
You want to translate for our English viewers what it is you just said?
I just said, y'all welcome. You all need to be here for all these Puerto Rican fights. This is all, what is it, rice with pinch and peas. This is all Puerto Rican food, Puerto Rican style. Salsa is not here of any other country. This is all pure Puerto Rican dominant fighters out there that are gonna show you tonight con salsa what it's all about. Puerto Rico is in the motherfucking house here in Kissimmee, Florida. So shout out to all the Boricuas. Looking forward to meeting Cono Loco. Looking forward to meeting all the Puerto Ricans out here because we're coming. That's right, the PR, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican, we're all coming. So I am pumped up.
You know the crazy thing, right? I just woke up maybe 30 to 45 minutes ago. Pops ain't even got Bud Light in the system. It's like this. He don't even got Bud Light in the system. So imagine I want y'all to think what's gonna happen when you put Pops and around thousands and thousands of Puerto Ricans with Bud Light in the system.
Woo!
I'm gonna feel like I'm back in up north, back in with our family in Massachusetts at a damn cookout. It's gonna be a big ass. It's gonna feel like one big ass cookout tonight. You know the pig. We go.
Yeah,
that pig turning on the thing.
Lechon, yeah,
The lechon.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we waiting. We waiting. We pumped.
Jesus M has 2 questions for me. Jesus M asks, how was Xander Zayas versus Broner sparring? Did you watch the Thursday night fights on NBC? Well, I wasn't allowed to watch, and I didn't even see Broner when he was down here. They would like I was trying to set it up, but they would let me in the gym, and then his people were like kind of taking forever. So I never got a chance to see Broner, but from what I heard, it was good. What I will say is this: I'm not gonna get too deep into it because I got an interview on this coming out. But my boy Michel Rivera, one of the top 135 pounders in the world, who was supposed to fight Adrian Broner. I was told recently by Michel Rivera himself that he was there one day looking for some sparring, and Adrian Broner and his team said, "No, we don't want to spar him." So I can tell you that. Did you watch the Thursday night fights on NBC? No, I didn't because like I told you, me and my dad the last 2 days. It's just been the fact that we're in Kissimmee, Florida right now, that we're in this hotel for 2 nights, is a blessing. It was just the biggest blessing in the world. So I unfortunately didn't watch it, but I was happy to hear that my main man, one of South Florida's very own, Daniel Bailey Jr., got the W, and he improves to, I think, what is he, 5-0, something like that, 4-0, 5-0.
That's what's
so
up.
Shout out to Daniel Bailey
Coach
Jr.,
Ford, baby.
Coach Calvin Ford, Mickey Demo's boxing gym. Stand the hell up.
Stand up, baby. 305, baby, all day. Let me be quiet. I'm really pumped up.
You pumped up already. And listen, this I got to reiterate this with you guys. This is without Bud Light. So imagine when you put him around all the Puerto Ricans, the fights are started, and he got Bud Light in the system. Listen. It's going to feel like we back up north, like I said, at a big-ass cookout with the lechon turning around on the thing. It's going to be nuts. Do you guys think Saunders has a shot against Canelo? I think Saunders has a shot in terms of winning the fight in the court of public opinion. I think he can box well enough for people to say that he beat them,
I think.
But I don't think he'll get a decision. There's just no way in hell he's going to get a decision Cinco de Mayo weekend in Texas.
He's gonna come out.
Listen. I've been telling my dad this. There has in all of boxing over the last couple of years, there hasn't been a fighter that's has more of the odds stacked against him than Billy Joe. So if he wins this fight, put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Hall of Fame that day because the amount of pressure he has to fight under against Canelo is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Billy Joe's gonna have. Saunders gonna have more motivation going to this fight. Added more motivation since Eddie Hearn's already planned to fight with Caleb Plant and Canelo. I think that's very disrespectful of Eddie Hearns. That's more fucking fire and desire for Billy Joe Sanders to come in there. The way the whole thing been going, I see he's animated. So I still think Canelo will get the edge on the fight, but I think do not sleep on Billy Joe this time. Like you said, you never fought a gypsy.
He never fought a gypsy warrior.
So, you all better watch out because Billy Saunders got more fire in him than he has in any other fight because of what Eddie Hearns has said, because of negotiation, because all the Brits can't go, but he can have the best heavyweight in the fucking world behind him. That's enough said.
Anthony Joshua going to the fight?
Huh?
Anthony Joshua going to the fight?
No, fuck Joshua. We're talking about the real motherfucking heavyweight champion. We're talking about, you know who I'm talking about, is known as the Gypsy King for a reason. He doesn't need to have the UK back in behind him because of the rules that the UK didn't let the other fans come to travel. But he's got one of the best guy behind him, the backbone of the UK, the backbone of fucking boxing and the heavyweight division. Yeah, that's right, the Gypsy King.
There you have it. So yeah, he got a chance.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Ruben. He says it's gonna be crazy because Kissimmee is like little Puerto Rico. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all a story from my childhood. I think you guys will quite enjoy this. So for those of you who know anything about the geography, like the cities around Kissimmee, Florida, there's a city around Kissimmee, Florida called St. Cloud. And I remember when I was a young whippersnapper, I was like in the 8th, 9th grade. My dad met this girl. I don't remember her name, but he met this girl, this fat chick, and on an online dating site. My dad. And I remember we actually went from Dania Beach all the way in South Florida, all the way out here to St. Cloud to meet this woman. And I haven't been to Kissimmee or this area really since
Yeah.
that time. I haven't. So I remember yesterday when we got here, me and my dad, we took a little run over to Marshall's. Went to Marshall's to get some clothes for the fight and some things for the fight. And wow. I mean,
Look, I got
Puerto Rican women everywhere. I was like, wow.
What? This ain't Cuban. No offense to the Cubans and people, nothing respect to them too. This ain't all about that. But tú estás Puerto Rico.
I told my dad. I said, look, if I lived here, if I would have grew up,
he said.
I told if I would have grew up here, if I would have grew up in Kissimmee, Florida, I would have had 2 or 3 kids already.
Oh my God.
Already, it was insane.
The slamming girl right there in Marshall last night. Fucking slamming girl. What the fuck?
My man, Hav S says, peace, guys. Boricua, puñeta!
Puñeta, pa' que lo sepa, Puerto Rico!
Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Cano Loco says, I will be at the hotel with the fighters. What? Well, you don't gotta put it here, Cano, because I don't want you to get in trouble. But like, DM me on Instagram, DM me the hotel, and I'll come meet you. I'll come meet you and my dad over there and with the fighters and whatnot. Let me know where you'll be at, which hotel it is. Good morning, Nathan J. What's good, champ? How you living? We just over here talking some shit before we head out and enjoy the rest of our day. Jesus M says it's time for Joseph Ordonez to step up.
That's right, man. I've been wondering about. I like Ordonez, and I'm 100%. You're right what you're saying. I like the fighter. I like what they got with him in Top Rank. But when is he gonna do the real salsa dance? When is he gonna dance? You're right about that. I do like him. He's gotta step up.
You see, Pops chilling and dropping knowledge on you guys.
Shit.
Pops.
My blessing's going right now. You just don't know it.
Listen, yesterday, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you guys this, right? So last week, by the grace of God, again, God watches out. I don't know what I did, but God really does spoil me, like, big time. So just thank God for everything I got in my life. Last week we went to the Demetrius Andrade fight, and that was like,
oh my God,
that was unexpected. That was. And my dad's gone to a lot of the local cards in South Florida, but I never had the chance to take my dad to any of like the
live shit,
the big time cards, like the Zone, ESPN, PBC cards. So last week with Boo Boo Andrade, that was his first time, and we had the time of our life. I mean, time of our life. Great. And that, like, it was great, and obviously we're big fans of Boo Boo Andrade here on this channel, but I almost feel like that was a tune-up for what I'm going to go through tonight. There's going to be Puerto Ricans everywhere.
Tú vas a estar en mi fucking casa, puñeta! Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Puñeta, indeed.
Yeah, that's right. We have fun. Fuck.
They said Pops is crazy. Where we at? I saw my boy Archie Mego. He says, I just left Kissimmee, LOL. I'm here in Jacksonville now. What's up, man? Shout out to you in Jacksonville. Haves says, y'all are giving me that AM boxing. Blessings to you and Pops. Be safe and tell Pops to be easy on the lights tonight. Well, luckily for us, we're only a couple miles away from the hotel, so
I'm not doing a lot. I gotta put myself right. Bullshit! I'm going to Puerto Rico to do what I gotta do. I'm gonna have fun and be safe, and God bless you too.
Hey, Pops. So give them a history lesson. What part of Puerto Rico are you from?
Barranquita. I grew up in Barranquita, Puerto Rico, and then from there I went to Jersey, New Jersey. Jersey City's also full of a lot of.
Wait, I thought you were from somewhere else in Puerto Rico.
No, Barranquita.
Isn't that Colombia?
No, that's not. There is a city in Colombia.
No, but didn't you tell me you were from somewhere else? I forgot the name of it.
Guanabo's my mom from. Naranjito.
Oh, Rio Pedra.
Rio Pedra is where yo nací. I was born in Rio Pedra.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah.
I was born in Rio Pedra, but I'm Barranquita. Naranjito is where my mom was also from, so that's where she's from, and that's a little bit about it. We moved to Jersey City from Puerto Rico, and then we moved to Massachusetts, and so forth and so forth.
And then how'd you end up in the greatest place in the world, South Florida, Dania Beach to be? How'd you end up there?
Basically, it ended up with my mom. Well, it's a whole
long story.
It's a long story, but I'll make it short. I'll just tell you guys a little bit up since BT want to tell this. I was also adopted for so many years.
Oh.
by a German lady, and she actually moved down here.
Yeah.
I was blessed to keep in touch with my actual blood Puerto Rican family to this day, amen. And we moved from Massachusetts to Florida back in '85, and Hollywood, Florida, to be exact. And then from there we went. We got to know Dania. In Dania, when I got older, I moved to Dania, Florida, and so forth and so forth. So
Yeah, and you know, we you know what? Hey, I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys out there because I've been thinking about this and I've been even told my dad about this. I was thinking recently about doing a whole like hour long, maybe 2 hour long, sit down interview with Pops. We're gonna interview Pops about his life, and we're gonna figure out why the hell he's so damn crazy. Okay, we're gonna get to the bottom of why Pops is who he is. Would you guys, for the 11 of you out there, would you guys like me to do a sit down interview and talk about this man? What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
It's all good.
Ruben Crespo, what's good, champ? Shout out to you with the $9.99 super chat. We appreciate all the support.
Ruben.
You know, with your guys' support and with, you know, God on our side, it gets us to these fights like Kissimmee. So everything and everything is appreciated.
Yeah, and just all the subscribers being here right now is a big blessing. It doesn't have to be about monetary. It does help.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pop, who cares, says Pops is a savage OG when it comes to this boxing game. And listen, I'm so happy that last weekend happened and that Eddie Hearn got to feel that pressure from Pops. Because look, a lot of times when me and Pops we get on this camera, we say our opinion on these fighters. We don't hate these fighters. We love fighters, but we say our opinion whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
All right. And sometimes people, we've gotten comments in the past where people say, "Oh, you wouldn't go to the fights and talk like that, or you wouldn't do this." Well, last week was your evidence, and listen, Eddie Hearn should be thankful and lucky. He should thank his lucky stars that we didn't run into him after the fight. Because I'll tell you right now, if Pops would have saw him in person after the fight, he would have put that pressure on him in his face.
I'm not playing.
He's not playing. He wants to see Demetrius Andrade versus Canelo.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
So yeah, man. Like you can't
you how you say, man? You can't write this up. You can make this up.
I can't make this up. I can't make this up. We were there.
We respect others.
Yeah, man. Ruben says Pops is wild.
Yeah, we had a great time with Booba Andre's dad too. The interview that you had when I met him afterwards of the fight, Booba Andre's dad was great too.
Yeah, it was. Will the attendance be 100% capacity? To be honest with you,
sold out, they said.
I'm not sure if they're using the whole arena. I mean, the arena in general, because we drove by it. The arena in general, it's not a big arena. It's not. So I don't see why they wouldn't use the whole thing. You know, but Top Rank's been very particular about COVID stuff. But kind of local sports was just here, and he said he's going to the hotel with the fighters. So I'm thinking maybe it's not as strict as you think, and it is going to be full. So I don't know. But if somebody knows, let me know. Because I don't even know, to be honest. I just know that I'm going to the fight.
Yeah. It said it was sold on the thing, I think.
Do you have a Puerto Rican parade out where you're at? I loved when your dad yelled at Eddie Hearn about Canelo last week. Yeah, man. Listen. Where we're from in South Florida, we don't necessarily have to my knowledge, we don't have a Puerto Rican parade. But what we do have is we have, every year we have Calle Ocho, and it's just a celebration of all the Latin American cultures, because we have so many in South Florida, so many different Latin American cultures. You know, you got obviously the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, the South Americans, Central Americans. So we have that every summer, and it's a great time out there on where is that on Ocean Drive in Miami.
Calle Ocho.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they have the Puerto Rican community, Hispanic community in Hollywood, Florida. They have one of the best. If you guys want to buy some Puerto Rican souvenirs, you all need to check out the Puerto Rican souvenir shop on Johnson Street in Hollywood, Florida.
On Johnson Street, yeah. Absolutely.
But as far as the parades and stuff, they usually have something like a big festival like that. It's really small here in Hollywood, Florida, which is next to Dania, and they actually have it on the boardwalk. They'll have like all kind of festivals there. Like it won't be a big parade, but it'll be like celebration of Puerto Ricans and all the other countries and stuff.
We go
like New York.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Look, I'm gonna tell you this. Look. Right now, what time is it? It's like 10 something.
Yeah, 10:20.
Okay, look, it's 10:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We in the great and beautiful city of Kissimmee, Florida. Look, y'all see that guy in that bed right there? He ain't even got up yet. He ain't even got food in the system. He ain't even got Bud Light in the system. So you're asking me, do we got a Puerto Rican parade bar area? We don't. But
No,
guess
we
what?
don't.
We're going to fucking have one tonight when he goes to the Silver Spurs Arena. When he goes to the Silver Spurs Arena here in Kissimmee.
Berlanga, baby! Berlanga! Brooklyn, stand up! Puerto Rico, pa que lo sepa! I got to calm down, man. Get my blood going.
Oh, man, I got to stop, man. El Coro, what's up, Chevy? Says, bendición, Pops.
Ya, bendición a ti también. Te va a conocer, que Dios te bendiga.
Jesus M says, can you go live at the fight? I might. I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I gotta go buy a portable charger because I plan on going to the arena before the fights, and if I go to the Hotel Cano, I plan on going to do some videos there. So I gotta really be smart with my battery and how I use it. But we'll probably go get a charger and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Hopefully the signal at the arena is good too.
Yeah, that's what we've been testing out here, so how everything is.
Yeah, I mean, at the hotel it's good, but the hotel and the arena are two different animals.
Yeah.
Miami Kid J, South Florida stand-up, what's up, champ? He says, do you know if tickets for the Teofimo fight are available? Jorge Rubio is a great addition to Teofimo's team, by the way. Well, I'll answer the first part of your statement. Listen, I have the StubHub. I have the StubHub app on my phone, and I have a lot of fights I have to go to soon. So, I've been looking for tickets to fight. I'm looking to see what the Lopez Cambosos tickets are going for and what the Taylor Ramirez tickets are going for, and I haven't seen either one of them on sale. So, so far nothing so far. But when they do, I'm gonna get my tickets. I'll be there at the greatest baseball stadium on planet Earth, Marlins Park, and I'll be there to watch what I think is gonna be a great fight. I already told y'all last week I think Teofimo will win, but I think this is a classic trap fight, dangerous fight for him. Cambosos is not someone to be overlooked. I'm gonna keep saying that till the fight happens. Good show. Oh yeah, and about Jorge Rubio, to your second comment, I think Rubio is a great addition to his team because of the style that Teofimo Lopez has. Rubio is a trainer that when you look at his pedigree and what he's good at, what are his strengths as a trainer, he's good at training a particular style. So he's good at training movers, guys that have good footwork, and he's good at taking that footwork to the next level. We've seen it in the past with some of the other fighters he's worked with, like Rigondeaux and guys like that. And I think at this point, Teofimo Lopez is gonna have to tighten up his footwork just a little bit because he needs to tighten up his defense, and the best way to tighten up your defense is to tighten up your footwork and your head movement and things like that. And Rubio is good for those things. So, yeah, man, I'm really excited to see that happen, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Jorge Rubio is a very humble coach. The guy has spent a lifetime in boxing. He goes about his business every day. He never acts like he's bigger or better than anybody. I mean, me and Pops, we just saw him at a small fight card in January, and every time he sees us, he always shows us the same love. It doesn't matter if he's got a world champion or if he's working with the guy that's making his pro debut. Jorge Rubio treats us the same all the time.
Our trainer just lay it out on the ring like we did that day.
Yeah, the first time we met him,
5 o'clock.
the first time me and my dad, the first time me and my dad met Jorge Rubio, we went to Kangaroo Boxing Gym.
Shout out to him.
What part of Miami is that in, by the way? Where is that? Like
South.
That's like South Miami.
Yeah, South.
We went to Kangaroo Boxing Gym to go meet up with Isaac Chamberlain, and we got there like at 8 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. There's nobody in the gym, but the gym has all the lights off, but we could see this old man plopped in the middle of the ring, and it was Jorge Rubio with his shirt off, drenched in sweat, and the guy works out like a madman too.
Yeah, I see that.
He'll beat up your grandfather if he runs his mouth. So watch out for Jorge Rubio. Good show. Slotello, what's good, champ? He said Floyd versus Logan Paul thoughts. That's self-explanatory. Self-explanatory. I think it's a bad. I think it's a cash grab, and it's another circus act in boxing. At least see, like with Jake Paul, right? Say what you want about Jake Paul, but Jake Paul can really fight. He got that one-hitter quitter. Logan Paul, I'm not really digging Logan Paul. He lost to the bootleg version of Joe Frazier. The extra bootleg version of Joe Frazier, KSI. So I'm not too gassed about that. Young Gun TV says, y'all lit. LOL, y'all are lit. Enjoy the fights, champs. Absolutely.
God bless.
See.
Edgar.
Ruben says that the people in the next room are probably cursing you guys out. Probably.
Hey, there ain't gonna be no love making on the other side tonight. It'll be too loud in here.
Nah, man. They better calm that shit down.
Yeah.
Mad Chad Boxing Sports. Did Jorge Rubio work with Amir Khan? Yes, he did. He did. He did. Early in his career. May I suggest a Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua ticket giveaway for the channel? Listen, man, I ain't got it like that. Listen, that fight's gonna be somewhere in Saudi Arabia. They got the Arab money behind them, and I'm sure them tickets are gonna cost an arm and a leg. So if God works it out to where your boy BT can go to the fight in Saudi Arabia, I mean that'd be insane if my dad can go to Saudi Arabia because my dad was there. For those of you who don't know, and we'll say this for the interview when I talk to Pops, my dad. And y'all need to thank Pops for his service. My dad did how many? 6 years? 7?
No, eight, almost 9.
He did 8 years in the military. 8 years in the military, and he was in Saudi Arabia. So it'd be crazy if somehow we go to Joshua versus Fury in Saudi Arabia.
And this is a side note. My son makes me laugh on this all the time. He says, "My dad, just like all the other veterans and all the other armed forces." He served, and he can't even get 5% discount.
Oh yeah, hold on. I got a rant.
Oh shit! Yeah,
because look.
You got me going on that.
I'm with my dad a lot, so I see how the war has affected his health, his memory, and it's done a number on him. You know, God, I'm just happy that
I still can talk.
I'm happy that he's healthy and he's functioning. Yeah. But like he goes through it, and I see it a lot. So we go to where were we yesterday? Oh, we were trying to rent a car yesterday. We were trying to rent a car yesterday because our van was having some problems.
Yeah.
Right, we were trying to rent a car yesterday. So we're calling every car rental place in Miami yesterday, looking for cars to rent, and they're all saying what they say. Oh,
5%.
We only have a 5%. We only have a 5% veterans discount. I said fucking 5%. I said you mean to tell me you jumped out of planes? You got your health all messed up. You got lost in the desert that one time.
Yeah,
you got shot at.
Yeah.
And they gonna say 5%. I said what if the soldiers, right? What if all the brave men and women in our army?
God bless them all.
God bless them all. It's a tough job, and they're paying the ultimate price. What if they said, you know what? We're only gonna give 5% of our efforts to defend the country.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Man, it's like, this is some fucked up shit.
Imagine that shit. Imagine if the brave men and women in our army said, you know what? We're only gonna give 5% to protect and serve the country. Come on, man. We be fucked up. What do we be in a bad position? What do we?
I mean, and then Brandon was telling me that throughout the UK, people when he went to the UK and other places that you traveled, and you said that the soldiers get better treatment over there.
That's what I was told, and
yeah. UK. Anyways,
thanks,
back to the
Thanks, Archie Mego says thanks for your dad's service. Thank you, Dad. Ruben says thank you for your dad's service.
Yeah, respect to everybody.
Mad Chad says respect to Pops. Yeah, man.
I've done it all. We've been there, but I mean, you know what? I really respect you guys for being here with me and making life easy for me talking boxing.
You guys,
this is like
listen for me. Look, I'm gonna tell you all this. Like for me, I'm 26 and I've been very fortunate to not have to go to the army or anything like that. So I have my faculties mostly in check. And like for me, it's always I'm always happy when you guys come here. But I think for Pops, it means like everything because he goes through a lot in his personal life that we don't talk about on here. And when you guys come here, interact with him, it helps him, deal with that. So I'm happy. I'm always happy when people talk to my Pops. 24 Geezy, what's up, champ? How you living? He says Edgar Berlanga is gonna steal the show. Listen, to me, I don't think he. No disrespect to Navarrete or Christopher Pitufo Diaz. I'm sure it's gonna be a great fight. But in my opinion, all right, this is just me. He's not gonna steal the show because to me, he is the damn show. Listen. These tickets that I bought for this fight were not cheap. Yeah. They were not cheap.
Hear this out.
I'm not gonna say how much they were, but they were not cheap. And
just to be there.
Huh?
Just to be at the fight.
That's why I spent the money I spent and didn't feel bad about it. Was Berlanga. Obviously there's other good fighters on the card, but I love Berlanga. That's a guy that I'm really here for. So we got a lot of interesting comments. Jesus M says capitalism is not free, and you're right. But I'm not saying it's got to be free. I'm just saying I just feel like because especially over the last 2 years, I've been exposed to a lot of how veterans in America get treated, and I'm not saying you got to give them I'm not saying you got to give the veterans a house on fucking Star Island in Miami with palm trees
Yeah.
and 10 bedrooms. I'm not saying you got to do all that. But what I'm saying is, man, from what I've seen, not just with my dad, but other veterans as well, I feel there should be better treatment in America for people that risked it all. They put it all on the line. They put their health on the line. They put the greater. They put their family's life on the line.
And don't get it twisted. We also give respect to the boxers because they do the same thing out.
No, but I'm saying you guys are paying the ultimate price,
Yeah.
going to other countries and all this stuff. And I just feel like, from what I've seen,
Let's just throw this.
they give the soldiers, when they come back to the country, a runaround, and I don't feel it should be that way.
Anyway, we pray for everybody.
But we pray for everybody, man. See, here we go. Here's an interesting question. I'm going to answer this very briefly. True school sports. Do you consider yourself as a black man? I consider myself as a man. I don't really see myself like I'm proud of.
They tell him to go get a knife and cut.
Hold on. I'm proud of my hair. I'm proud of my Puerto Rican heritage. I'm proud to be an American citizen. I love where I'm from. I'm proud to be from Dania. But I've never really looked at myself as any of those things. I don't look at myself as that.
Tell him to go to his kitchen, get a knife and cut himself. Tell what color's blood comes. What color's the blood?
The way my dad raised me when I was a kid, he taught me to be proud of who I am and be proud of my roots and stuff like that. Which is why I'm proud of my Puerto Rican heritage. I'm proud of being an American first. Actually, first and foremost, I want to say I'm proud to be an American because I love this country and I've grown in deeper appreciation for America since I've gone to England. Okay. But like the way my dad taught me when I was a kid was that if you cut a man open, right? If you cut a man open, we all bleed the same red. So that's how I look at myself, and that's how I look at the next man. That's why when people come on here and they start talking about race and black fighter this and white fighter that, I don't even look at fighters like that because I don't look at fighters like that because I don't look at myself that way. If that makes sense. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
Mad Chad says, Pops is the man. Who is your dad's Mount Rushmore of boxers of all time? So that who are your four fighters that are on your Mount Rushmore? You let people know.
I like Ali.
Okay.
Floyd Patterson.
Floyd Patterson, really? Like Floyd Patterson like that?
I like Ali, Floyd Patterson. I like Hagler. Believe it or not, has always been my prime favorite of all time on my list. Hagler, and what else I say? Let me see. I said
That fourth one will be tough.
Yeah. Hold on. I said Floyd. No, I said Floyd.
Floyd Patterson.
I said Floyd Patterson.
Ali. Marvin Hagler.
Definitely Marvin Hagler. And the fourth one is a lot of.
Callum Smith.
Get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Anyways, the fourth one, there's a lot of great fighters, man. It's crazy.
That's a lot. It's tough. I'll get mine.
Yeah.
I got on my personal. I know you asked for Pops, but I'll get mine. I got Cholatito Gonzalez, Riddick Bowe, probably Rocky Marciano, and then I'll go with Terrence Crawford, man. I'm gonna use Terrence. No, I'll go with Terrence Crawford.
Crawford?
Yeah, I love Crawford. It's my Mount Rushmore. I'm not saying he's the best.
Yeah.
These are just my guys. These are my favorite fighters, like Cholatito, Riddick Bowe, Holyfield, and Crawford.
And
No. I gotta scratch Crawford off of there. I like Crawford, but I like Demetrius Andrade more.
Boo.
Yeah, I like Boo Boo way more than
I
him.
like Pacquiao. Pacquiao's big on me too.
Yeah, okay.
Pacquiao. I do like Puerto Rican fighters, so don't get it twisted. I'm just saying.
Jesus M's coming with those geography lessons. He says America is all of North America and South America. You mean the USA? Thank you for your correction, Jesus. The USA. So yeah, the USA. Black Magic Genetics. He's asking this question a lot, so it's for you, Pops. He says, did he get to keep his guns from the service?
That's a negative.
He said that's a negative.
I mean, I got my own.
Is that like against the rules?
Yeah, turn that shit in as government property.
Damn.
But you can buy them anywhere. You can buy nowadays.
There's a picture. There's a picture. There's a picture in our apartment, in our house. It's right on the way to the bathroom of a young Pops, skinny as hell, with an M16 in his hand.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, from going to war, baby.
From going to war.
Yeah.
Ariel Alvarado says, much respect to you and your Pops from Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at?
That's what I'm talking about. Stand up.
Slotello says, I watch a lot of podcasts and a lot of casuals think Jake Paul is the biggest boxer in the world. Jake Paul hasn't fought a boxer yet. Casuals can't really separate real boxing from celebrity boxing. Well, look, the reality is this: he technically is a professional fighter. Whether he's fighting if he's fighting nobody's not, it doesn't matter. He's a professional fighter. And listen, I hate to say it, I hate to be cliche, but men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And Jake Paul is the biggest boxer right now. Who else in boxing right now is generating 1.9 million pay-per-view buys by themselves?
Jesus Christ.
Who's doing that? Cause I'll tell you, Canelo sure as hell ain't doing it. You know, Canelo's not doing it. Pacquiao, I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he can do it anymore. Jake Paul can fight anybody, and I think it'll outsell just about any fighter. And I think the promoters like Bob Arum and all these guys that had spent their lives in boxing, that had that old school mentality and that want to sit on their ass and don't want to promote anymore, don't want to complain about money and losing money and shit on their fighters and not do their jobs and whatnot. I think they should look at Jake Paul and they should be embarrassed by themselves. They should be embarrassed that they let Jake Paul come to boxing. He came to boxing and he's outselling probably not just fighters now, but almost any fighter they promoted in the past. Like, it's crazy. So I hope this is good because I hope this wants to be a good thing. I hope it's a wake-up call to the promoters and the fighters to stop pussyfooting around and make these fights happen and to stop being cheap and pay for these fights to happen.
One thing we were driving up here to Kissimmee that you and I had a good conversation about, and it was about, you brought it to my attention that you said that fighters can't blame the promoters if they don't try to promote themselves
Oh yeah, but on the flip side, so I was having,
we have a good conversation.
and I want to say shout out to this guy because this guy has been, as far as fighters in boxing, this guy has been one of my biggest supporters behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Shout out to my main man, 50 grand, Rafael Akabajori, heavyweight prospect. I believe he's like 7-0 or 8-0 with all knockouts so far. He hasn't fought anybody, but all knockouts so far. He's being trained by Glenn Johnson and whatnot. And, you know, a good fighter to watch. Still very raw. Still very raw in the gym. Still improving his craft. Needs a lot of work. But we were having a great conversation because he actually was part of the guy. He was the guy that was putting the Glenn Johnson card together behind the scenes. And Rafael Akabajori, we were having this conversation at like 3 a.m, and he was saying that it's never about, when it comes to fighters, it's never about the promoters. It's always about the fighters. They have all the power. And he was saying if the fighter can energize his fan base and get them to come to the fights, and he's putting in that groundwork to make them to get his fan base energized and grow his fan base, then he can force the promoter's hand to make these fights, even if the promoter doesn't want to. And he was telling me that a problem that he sees just from working with fighters on his own promotional show was that it's sometimes it's a pain in the ass to even tell these fighters to go on social media and post about their own fights because fighters are lazy and they're entitled. That's what he told me, and I agree with him because, you know, I love the fighters. You know, they risk their lives, but I know from personal experience a lot of fighters don't care for promoting themselves. They don't care for posting on social media, but it's part of the game now. If you want people to know who you are, you gotta do that.
Just take an example from we can't say that Jake Paul's been a fighter forever, but because he started doing his videos, because he promoted himself doing what he's at, he promoted himself to be where he's at with video views and everything. And look where he's at now.
Yep.
Find an example right there. Let's Go Champ. There's another promotion.
Slowtel says if Drake did a celebrity boxing match, he'd be the biggest boxer in the world too. You must separate real boxing to celebrity boxing. You're right. But listen, Jake Paul's taking this shit serious. I talked to a couple of people here in South Florida that have been in the gym with him and seen him train with their own eyes, and they say, look, they all say that he's taking this serious. So I believe him.
But I agree with the comment you said too. At some point, you have to keep the real be real and keep the entertainment be entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainers trying to fight themselves, that's fine. The biggest winners here is what you said, BT, before, and we talked about this too, that I was very adamant in the beginning, because I was just like, this guy's comment, like he said, like, fuck Jake for fighting a real fighter, or disrespectful to the sport. But in reality, those 100.9 million views he's getting is bringing more viewers to see more of the boxing sport and bring more attention to
the sport. Program made $860,000 fighting Ivan Redcatch. Listen, that fight under normal circumstances is like at best a $100,000 payday.
Jeez.
and he made almost that's a robbery. That's legal robbery right there. If I've ever seen it in my life.
Trilla, they're coming out.
Yeah, man. So
Adrian Broner might go there too.
he should. He fit right
They
in.
were saying that Adrian might go to Trilla. Just have him there's enough.
Slotello says, have you seen AJ in the gym? He's dancing in there. His trainer, Angel Fernandez, is doing wonders for him. AJ should sack Fraud McCracken and Rob McCracken and promote Angel Fernandez. Well, I've never met Angel Fernandez, but I know about him very well because for a time, not now, but for a time in 2019, 2018, he worked with a good friend of mine, Isaac Chamberlain. And he was part of the beginning of Isaac Chamberlain's transformation in style. Isaac Chamberlain used to have a very basic British style, and through the watchful eye and guidance of Angel Fernandez and Jorge Rubio, he's now changed that style. He's now, I would say, he's one of the slickest fighters in all British boxing. He might be the slickest fighter in British boxing.
Wow.
He hasn't had a chance to prove it against top competition yet, but Isaac Chamberlain definitely has improved because of Angel Fernandez. So I know he's a great trainer. Fresh BX says, them Yoo-Hoos are legendary. Listen.
How long you been drinking those brothers?
I've been drinking this since I was a jit. All right? Now look. If I could get one sponsorship in the world, I don't want Nike, I don't want Everlast, I don't want none of that. Yoo-Hoo, who's the company that manufactures Yoo-Hoo? Who manufactures these motherfuckers?
Talent for that right now. Just yeah.
Listen, whoever does the Yoo-Hoo manufacturing, I need that Yoo-Hoo sponsorship. So I'm about to hit them up soon.
Yeah.
Let them know True School wants that sponsorship soon.
People like the Yoo-Hoo.
Someone said Cholatito couldn't even do a quarter of the pay-per-view buys that Jake Paul can do. He can't. But that's not a side on Cholatito. That's just, Jake Paul. He specializes in promoting himself. He's a social media juggernaut. So I can't knock Jake Paul.
Yep.
Logan Paul is way more popular than Jake Paul, so Logan Paul might be the biggest boxer in the world. If Jake Paul is your biggest boxer in the world, then Logan Paul. On top of that, Logan Paul's got more Instagram followers than Jake Paul, and Logan Paul, he's fighting the biggest name in boxing, Floyd Mayweather. What do you think about that fight?
I think it's great. I mean, anything that's bringing more, my viewpoint is different. Anything that's bringing more attention to the sport of boxing that we really need it right now, I'm all for it. And remember, America is all about opportunities and taking more opportunities, making more money, whatever the case may be. And that's what Logan Paul and the Pauls are doing. Respect to them.
So yeah.
Don't forget to buy your Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards, yeah.
Well, how much was the video we seen?
Yeah, I was watching that video. Logan Paul. Logan Paul. Shout out to my boy Paul. He put me on. Yeah. Logan Paul was buying. He spent like $2 million on Pokemon cards, going nuts.
He made money off of that now.
Made hella money off of it, and then Pokemon wanted making their own Logan Paul card. It was crazy.
It's crazy. So
it was crazy, but listen, a lot of fighters have a problem with it. I've seen a lot of fighters like I'm not gonna name no names, but I know fighters personally that had the same record as Jake Paul with less knockouts, and they're going on social media talking about, I won all these national championships and I did all these amateur fights just so a guy from YouTube could come and make millions of dollars. Like there's a lot of fighters in boxing that I know and that I've seen, and managers and people in the boxing industry that had this crabs in a barrel mentality, and they can't wrap their head around why Jake Paul has the viewership he has. Well, it's because Jake Paul had the platform. He had the following going into boxing, so it made it a lot easier. And a lot of times, I know it's very difficult to get these fighters to even post about their own damn fights.
If you can't get the big fights made, and take for example right now the Earl Spence and fucking Crawford fight, that shit got me like I don't care if I ever see that fucking fight. But if the fighters right now they're bitches with the politics and everything else.
I mean,
if you got time to make these fights and you want to make the gross money you want to make, get it in a good venue, and you're gonna make the big fights. But the more you stall, and I don't think, I mean, I get it at some point, stall the fight to lead it up to a certain point where you can make the big money, the big fight, make it more exciting than what it really is. We can get more fans, but at the same time, you can't blame somebody like Logan Paul, anybody that just came out from fucking acting or whatever the fuck are they doing, and they just jump into doing something. They didn't waste no time. They're not fucking sleeping on it like half of you fucking boxers doing.
Yeah, like
so blame yourself.
But
if you don't
I wanna also blame, because listen, and I'm probably speaking to a couple people that are watching this video. Yeah. I gotta blame the boxing fans for, especially here on YouTube, for creating this culture of these fights being delayed and marination and building the fight. I mean, like for example, I got a video coming out soon, but I'll talk about it right now. We have Jaron Ennis, special talent. Anybody with 2 functioning pairs of eyeballs, or 4 in my case, you can see, all right? You can see Jaron Ennis is special talent. You can see that Jaron Ennis is definitely knocking on the door of welterweight greatness and being a champion. You know, he's ranked number 9 in the IBF. He's ranked number 12 in WBC, Jaron Ennis. And there was a recent video where Jaron Ennis and Errol Spence were on a FaceTime video chat call. And, you know, they trash talked. They did this shit talk. Errol told Jaron, he told Boots, he said, oh, you know, puppies can't talk shit to big dogs and whatnot, right? So people in the comments were knocking Jaron Ennis for wanting to fight Errol Spence when he's ranked top 10 in the sanctioning bodies he holds belts for. Yeah. And they say, oh, he's not ready. He's not this. He's not that. That's not for you to say. It's not for you to say. Was Teofimo Lopez ready for Lomachenko? Was he ready for Lomachenko? Was Muhammad Ali ready for Sonny Liston when he fought him?
Yeah.
No. According to you guys, no. If YouTube would have existed in the days of Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali would have been cherry picking until he was at 30-0, because he's not ready, you know. But like, you got Jaron Ennis, a special talent who's positioning himself to fight these guys, and the minute it becomes mentioned, people want to shoot it down. And the funny thing is this: I know Earl's resume, so don't you guys come over here with your hands showing me Errol Spence's resume, trying to tell me like I don't know his resume, because I could tell you about his resume. All right, you don't tell me about his resume, I tell you about his resume. They had the same record in boxing. Errol Spence has 27 fights in the professional ranks. Jaron Ennis has 27 fights in the professional ranks. Even if Errol has better ring experience and he's went more rounds and he's fought better people, the reality is the guy you're saying isn't ready for him has the same amount of fights as him. So how could that guy not be ready? How could that guy not be ready? I think you asked I think people are actually asking the wrong question. The question isn't is Jaron ready for Errol Spence? Oh no. The question is Errol Spence ready for Jaron Ennis?
Yeah,
Let's be real.
The bottom line is there's gonna be there's a lot of young bucks coming up, 147 moving up, and they want all the fucking smoke.
All of it.
And if they feel ready and the training feels ready for them to have it, bring it on. I mean, right now we got what's Errol Spence doing besides fucking playing with his chickens and playing with his roosters and his horses and whatever his ranch.
I seen his ranch. I seen his ranch myself in Texas.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not here to bash Errol Spence. What we're trying to say is, if these young bucks feel it and they're showing on the ring their talent and their skills and they feel they're ready, look at Berlanga. Berlanga's already saying, I'm patiently waiting, but I want Canelo. I want to fuck up Canelo. So these the young people that are coming out now that are talented, give them the opportunity. What, you afraid? I'll be honest with you. If Ennis gets in there with Spence, the speed, the skill that fucking Ennis brings into the ring,
versatility,
it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a fucking problem. I don't care how much experience he got. I don't care how much of a big dog he is in the 147, whatever the case may be. He's gonna be a fucking problem for Errol Spence. I'm telling you that right now. So
like I've said in other videos, to any and all welterweights out there, that's them guys from Spence, Crawford, Porter, Virgil Ortiz, the more established welterweights.
Jesus Christ.
It's better that you fight this kid right now, because either you fight him right now and it's a competitive fight, or you wait and you marinate the fight and you let him get experience. Because if you do that, like, God forbid, Jaron Ennis has 2 more years of just taking these fights like against like the Lipinets level.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that, like Lipinets, Abdul Kakarov, them guys. He fights them type of guys and just gets rounds in the bank, and he's 25 years old. It's game over. It's game over for you guys. It is game over. So it's either you fight him now and you be competitive and you might lose, or you wait and you get embarrassed 2 years from now. Which one do you want?
It's gonna happen, because what's happening is, as time goes by, the Spence, the Crawfords, or whatever the case may be, they have experience of sitting back, waiting, not picking the fights when they should have them, and they're getting older, and these guys can move up to their prime. They're gonna get better and better and better.
Yeah.
They'll be more worse for the fighters that are better today. And another topic that we're talking about, BT, that we brought about, that you were talking when we're driving, we're talking about what's the difference between Jake Paul knocking out his fighters and the guy's gonna.
Yeah, this right here has been a big discussion between me and my dad. And by the way, shout out to everybody here. Yeah. Make sure you smash that like button. It's the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Listen.
Tell them about that. We showed a video. I was like, what the hell?
Listen. So I've heard,
no disrespect,
and I've seen a lot of fighters on Instagram that I know personally. And listen, if you're a fighter here and you're watching and you got a problem with what I'm saying, I'm not hard to find. Look, I've heard a lot of fighters complain about Jake Paul. They get mad. They say, Jake Paul is disrespecting the sport of boxing. Jake Paul disrespecting the sport of boxing. He's disgracing our sport, right? But then, like recently, right?
Brother put me on game.
I was showing my dad because
no names. Just
no names, but I know a couple of fighters that went to another country recently, and they would fight these these fighters from that country, South American countries, and these are guys that like they get from the street. I mean, I'm talking about like they probably just handed them a boxing gloves and got them some trunks and said, here's $100. Just the first time you get hit by a punch, fall down. So I showed him highlights from some of these fights. I said, Dad, what's worse, the Ben Askren fight or this? And he said it was those fights.
Yeah.
So listen, man, you boxers out there, you guys that go to these other countries like Mexico and DR and Colombia, and you go and you fight these nobodies.
And you pad up your record.
And you pad the shit out your record up just for the illusion of you're saying you're 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, and you want to criticize Jake Paul. I think boxing, the managers, the fighters, the promoters needs to have a good, hard look at itself. Audit your damn selves and make the corrections, because you've allowed Jake Paul. Jake Paul wouldn't exist if boxing and the boxing business and industry had some damn integrity and backbone.
Yeah, and so for people that want to, we're not saying that we don't agree with what you're saying to keep entertainers finding entertaining. What we're saying is Jake Paul's got better skills than the fucking videos you showed me what these boxers about going for. Jake Paul's got better fucking. Hear what I'm telling you? Jake Paul has got better fucking boxing skills and throws better punches and can put a better fight. Matter of fact, why don't you just hire Jake Paul and send him to whatever country you want him to be at so you get to win?
let Jake Paul run his shit to 30-0.
Because when I seen those videos, I'm like, that you're actually doing, in my opinion, what you're actually doing, you're padding the record up and you're building up a fighter's head that's not really there. It's unrealistic.
Yeah. It is what it is, man. Oh, snap. My man, John Tovar. What's up, John? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Mm-hmm. That's my guy, John Tovar. When I used to go,
shout out, John.
When I used to go to LA Fitness, I used to be in the hit in the bag. He was, I mean, I don't know if he's chubby now, but he was a little chubby kid.
Right.
And then he would show me his power and stuff.
All
and
right.
Young kid. Shout out to him. He's talking about boxing and stuff. He says, "Yo, what's up, bro? What did you think about Jake Paul?" Listen, man, I thought he was. I think it was great. You know, he knocked out an MMA fighter, which I always think is great.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times, you know, I know. Shout out to my man Kevin Gleason. You know, he's a coach here in South Florida. He always talks about how great these MMA fighters are at boxing, and I'm glad that happened, because these MMA fighters be getting too cocky sometimes. So I love the right hand. You know, I think it's very easy to criticize Jake Paul and say that he's fighting nobody. Anyway, you know, it's very easy to do that. But guess what? I know plenty of fighters. High level fighters that would have went that would have went one round with Ben Askren. I truly believe it, because I've seen fighters that are world champions right now fight guys that look worse than Ben Askren and go around with them, go 2 rounds, pick their shots, you know, be cute, you know, get your rounds in. Nah, man. Jake Paul said, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
Right hand.
Boom,
He said,
out.
"Boom."
So I'm saying, man. I mean, he's bringing more attention to boxing.
Jake Paul did it. Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you this. You know, Jake Paul was on the Max on Boxing Show on ESPN. Max Kellerman interviewed him.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
Huh?
Anything good?
I forgot,
Oh, yeah.
but I saw it. Someone said, "Dick, that particular MMA fighter never threw his hands." Okay, there's journeymen in boxing. There's literal journeymen in boxing who never throw their freaking hands. That don't know a jab, a right from a straight right hand to a right cross. They don't know the difference.
Hey, I know.
I've seen these. I watch a lot of British boxing, so I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I'm so good, man.
I've seen top elite names go rounds with people that look just like Ben Askren.
Hey, I know what he did do. He opened his hands with that $500,000 he got.
Who, Ben Askren?
Yeah, he got like $500,000 for a fight. Fucking $500,000. Even Dana White wanted to pay that for his fighters.
Yeah. Errol Spence's mentality is Slotelo says, Errol Spence's mentality is the epitome of what's all wrong with boxing right now. His tweets telling Crawford you're on the wrong side of the street are so cringe and weird about Errol Spence. Yeah, when he started all that listen, people say BT, you're true to school, you're an Errol Spence hater, which is not even true, because I bought Errol Spence. Listen, I don't spend money on fighters that I hate. Well, that's not true actually, because I'm going to the Canelo fight.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
what I'm saying, I don't spend money like on T-shirts and merchandise on for fighters I don't like. I bought Earl Spence merch. I have multiple Earl Spence T-shirts. I've gone to see this man fight. I was talking about him here when he was 15-0. I've been an Earl Spence fan longer than most of you probably who know Earl Spence. But people say I'm an Earl Spence hater. Earl Spence is a great fighter. Earl Spence is A-level. He's creme de la creme. He's top of the top. And I want to see Earl Spence maximize his career. But to me, he can't maximize his career if he's not fighting Terrence Crawford. And he's the reason this fight's not happening, because he wants a Terrence Crawford top rank Al Heyman stimulus check to fight this guy. He wants the retirement check to fight Terrence Crawford. And it's like, man, you want to flex your chest and you want to be a big dog and you want to talk about how much of a big star you are. I kid you not. I guarantee you right now, if I walk outside this hotel and I ask the cleaning lady, do you know who Earl Spence is? She won't know. So he need to stop. He ain't that big of a star.
That's the reason boxing is hurting the fans. The same shit like that mentality. Back in the day, Hagler, got rest in peace, Sugar Ray, the 80s and 90s and so forth, motherfuckers got in the ring. That's how I remember that. All this bullshit back. To me, it's just fucking cheap. Any boxer makes excuses. It's just a way of saying I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Prime example right now, Golden Boy with Ryan. Garcia doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, Ryan and Della. Yeah, look, you guys know.
I like Ryan. Don't get me wrong.
You guys know. Look, you guys know
guy.
Pops. In the past, Pops has went on some classic Devin Haney rants. He's went off on Devin Haney, like, a lot. But we keep it. We call a spade a spade.
Mm.
Ryan Garcia fought Luke Campbell in a WBC title eliminator. Okay, he won the title eliminator. Devin Haney holds this random trinket. Okay, you could say he got the belt, whatever, but he has a belt. He has a form of the belt. I don't know what the fuck he will do from at this point because of the WBC's rule changes with the franchise belt. But he has a trinket. Okay, it's a good bargaining chip for Devin Haney to get that fight. Ryan won an eliminator for that belt, and Ryan and Oscar are talking about Devin Haney needs to build his profile up more before he fights Ryan Garcia. And it's like, when have you ever heard the challenger tell the guy who has the belt, you got to build your profile up? That's unheard of. So in my H Money, Mr. DAZN voice, he's ducking Devin Haney. He don't want to fight Devin the Dream Haney. All right? Leonard Sterling, what's good, champ? He says, afternoon with more top boxing cards in Florida since the pandemic. Is it flourishing? Because I remember they used to say boxing doesn't sell in Florida. Well, I'm gonna put you on game, Leonard, and I really appreciate that comment, because I feel like, particularly in where I'm from, where I live, South Florida, I feel like for whatever reason, South Florida gets painted in a bad light for boxing, when in actuality, if you look at your history and you do your homework, South Florida has always been one of the meccas of boxing, going all the way back to the days of Joe Louis. Joe Louis fought at the Orange Bowl in South Florida. Alexa Arguello versus Aaron Pryor, #1 was at the Orange Bowl in South Florida. Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston at the Miami Convention Center. Okay, Mickey Ward fought Zab Judah in Miami. Floyd fought what's his name? What was his name? Manfredi. Angel Manfredi in Miami at the Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Canelo fought at the Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. Canelo fought at the Hard Rock Stadium. And the list goes on and on and on and on. What's his name? Frankie Otero. The fantastic lightweight contender in the 70s from Miami, from Hialeah. He fought Ken Buchanan, the great Ken Buchanan from Scotland in Miami. Miami, South Florida has one of the richest traditions of boxing history in all of boxing. And it's not debatable. I mean, you have your New Yorks, you have your LAs. Those places probably have had more big-time fights than the Miami area.
We went a few months ago down to South Beach.
When you guys go to South Beach, right? I'm putting you all on game. When you go to South Beach, me and my dad one day, we were by Fifth Street Gym and on at CVS. At CVS, there's a plaque. There's literally a plaque at the CVS near Fifth Street Gym. And it has Angelo Dundee on there and Michael Nunn and all the Alexa Arguello, all the great fighters that train at Fifth Street Gym on this little plaque on Fifth Street at CVS. There's a street in Miami called Muhammad Ali Boulevard. Okay, so boxing is ingrained in the fabric of South Florida. So how is boxing flourishing in Florida? Yes, it's flourishing better than it's ever flourished because in boxing's deepest, darkest hour, where you got those fake meccas of boxing like Las Vegas, they only cater to the higher rollers and things like that, which is cool. But in boxing's deepest, darkest hour, the two so-called meccas of boxing, New York City and Las Vegas, ain't done shit for boxing. But you know who has done shit for boxing? Florida's done shit for boxing. Texas has done shit for boxing. So yeah, it's flourishing. I think it's on the rise. We got a lot of fights coming to South Florida. We just had Canelo come to South Florida. He sparred Avni Yildirim at the Hard Rock Stadium and stunk the place out. We got Teofimo Lopez fighting soon. We got Jake Paul versus Floyd coming up soon. So a lot of great things are happening for boxing in the area, and I think it's time for the fighters in South Florida to start getting their just due recognition.
Rise up, yep.
They say boxing doesn't sell in Florida, but I'm gonna tell you what winds up happening, right? So I'm a big time sports fan outside from boxing. I watch a lot of sports, not as much as I used to, but like I watch big time. You could ask Pops.
Yeah.
You could ask Pops.
That's all he does. Yeah.
I am a diehard Marlins fan. Like Marlins
Listen,
is everything to me.
He'll tell you.
Marlins, Florida Panthers. Those are my two teams in South Florida that I really like rock with. Been that way my whole entire life, and those two teams in particular, in the past for very specific reasons, have had problems selling tickets in South Florida. First and foremost, sometimes both those teams aren't very consistent as far as winning.
Mm-hmm.
And they both have had their own stadium issues and fire sales and things that have nothing to do with the things that are just weird. Things that normally things that have prohibited them from being as successful as they could be. And because of that, South Florida has a label of people don't support professional sports there, which is not even true because I've seen it. The Miami Dolphins are very successful attendance-wise. Miami Heat are very successful attendance-wise. So that's not even true. But they take what's going on with the Marlins and the Panthers and they say they use that for all sports. And then when boxing doesn't do well because promoters do a shitty job promoting the fights or don't sell tickets or don't do anything to get people excited about it, then they say boxing don't sell. But I think in the past when shows haven't done well in South Florida, it hasn't been because of Florida, because people love fights. We're a fighting state. We produce so many great fighters in the past. It comes down to the promoters. It comes down to what are they doing to hype their own shows up? And to be honest, they're not really doing much.
Look at Eddie Hearn's a great promoter in his own self. Who would have thought that he was going to bring all these fights down here to South Florida to the great Hollywood Florida casino, and look what he's promoting, and now you got Canelo out here. Who would have thought that when you like Brendan was just saying, you got the Meccas in New York, Las Vegas, so forth and so forth.
I'll be honest. From my perspective, I never understood what was so great about Las Vegas or New York City. I'm being honest. No disrespect. I never understood what was so great about this place because honestly, growing up in South Florida my whole life, all the New Yorkers move here. I've never in my life, I've never heard of anybody who doesn't have family in New York from South Florida move to New York. But I've heard plenty of people who don't know anybody here in South Florida come to South Florida and move to South Florida. Why? Because it's a great place to be at. Everybody wants to be in South Florida, or not everybody, but a lot of people want to be in South Florida. And the same thing with Vegas. I never heard anybody say, that had control over their finances, say, hey, I'm going to Las Vegas to move there, So I never understood what was the fuss about those places because those places aren't like tourism wise. Maybe New York might be bigger than South Florida because it's a bigger city and it's very like hyped up. But tourism wise, Miami is just as big as anything in the world. Mm-hmm. So I never understood why promoters never made it more of a focal point. If you can say the fights don't sell, but if you don't consistently have fights there and build your fighters in that area, how the hell are they gonna know to come to your fights? Slotello says Eddie Hearn has completely exposed himself the way he's completely sold his soul to Canelo. Eddie Hearn only cares about who can make him money, which makes sense, but still, damn man. Well, look, we saw it last week in the flesh, in color. When that lovely man over there put that pressure on Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn was over there. They were asking him about what's next with Demetrius Andrade. They said, oh, you can fight Golovkin. You could fight Charlo. You could fight Munguia.
Yeah.
And my dad said he told Eddie plain and dry, straight up to his face, Eddie, stop the bullshit. Put him in there with Canelo. And you heard it. Eddie Hearn looked in our general direction with his cheeky British accent, and he said, wrong weight class. Wrong weight. Basically insinuating that the fight won't happen because Canelo's at 168 and Boo Boo is at 160. Okay? But if Eddie's not stupid, Eddie does, and he watches more interviews than probably any of us here.
Yeah.
Okay? Eddie Hearn knows Demetrius Andrade moved to 168 and make that fight happen. But, you know, he wants to keep Canelo over here so he can keep making the money, and he's paying Demetrius Andrade a lot of money to not beat up any of the other guys, you know? Yeah, Slotella said Pops was on Eddie's neck. Sheesh. Yeah, and look,
One of your boys sent you a video.
we were gonna actually wait around the casino and see if we could get him in person, because last time I went to the Hard Rock after the Golovkin Camilo Schmechta fight, I ran into Eddie Hearn, but we got invited to go interview Demetrius Andrade's father after the fight, so that's why we didn't do it. But Eddie Hearn, you dodged Eddie Hearn. I don't even want to say Eddie Hearn dodged the bullet. He dodged about 5 or 6 bullets by not running into you that night.
Yeah, I mean.
But there's gonna be other nights. So hey, Eddie Hearn, you know, if Eddie Hearn hasn't been following True School Sports, this is where it's gonna come to hurt him. Because if he was following True School Sports, you know, and responding to my DMs and stuff, he would know what's coming his way.
Yeah.
But now he don't know what's coming his way.
I mean, who would have thought though that you look at that video from afar, my voice traveled right to him. I when your friend sent me that close video of him, my voice, I said, my fucking voice travels.
Yeah. When you yell and you're like being loud, do you realize how loud you are?
No.
He doesn't realize how loud he is. Like I knew listen. I knew during the fight that your voice was projecting, because when Boo Boo Andrade and Liam Williams were fighting, I'm like, 'cause I heard the echo. I could hear echoing.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, they can hear us from here, because there wasn't a lot of people there.
Well, they sure heard us. We should send a message to them.
Well, you know what? Look, a lot of people want to know how the hell did you get into the Demetrius Andrade fight, because there weren't supposed to be people there. So I'm gonna tell y'all the story of how we got into the fight. It's an interesting story. I think you guys will like it.
We were live and all.
So look, and I'm gonna tell the real story. I'm not gonna tell the filter story.
No, tell.
I'm gonna tell the real story.
Talk, yeah.
Okay. So at the house where I normally do my lives, my dad has he's married. You know, he got a wife, whatever.
Yeah.
Me and her don't get along, for whatever reason. We don't get along. So we weren't getting along that week. So my dad didn't want me in the house along with her, and she was being very difficult, as many of you know women tend to be at times.
Yeah.
And so my dad, he wanted to teach her a lesson. So he used, was it her card?
Yes, I took a card. Yeah.
He took her credit. He took her.
Not to be my card too.
He took their card, and he spent a lot of money, about $400 or $500 on a hotel for a couple days. And that was a very expensive lesson she had to learn. So look at me up. So we went to the hotel. We booked it to go live for the Demetrius Andrade fight. We go live for the Demetrius Andrade fight, and the internet starts acting up. The internet was trash.
Oh my God.
It was bad. Luckily for us, we were in Dania Beach, so we weren't that far from the where the fights were taking place. So when the co-main event came on, I told Pops, let's just go. We were planning on going to the casino anyway, so we went during the main event. During the co-main event,
to meet the fighters, not to gamble.
To meet the fighters, not to gamble. So during the Chris Pearson, Carlos Gongora co-main event, we get to the hotel. We see that the event center was open, which is significant because of the fact that when I went to the Hard Rock earlier in the year for Trevor Bryan versus Stavern, and I got thrown out of there, if the event center doors were closed shut, and you wouldn't even know that there was a fight going on. So this was significant. So we went to where the event center doors were, and we tried to just walk in. And the guy said, "Where are your tickets?" And we said, "We don't got no tickets." Well, he said, "Oh, well, they're just giving away tickets right over there at that table." So there was this big white table, and they said they were just giving away tickets. So then we go to the white table where they're giving away tickets.
But it's not like.
But we find out it wasn't what the guy said it was. It wasn't more the way he described it. You had to have. You
had to be a high roller gambler.
You had to be a high roller gambler to get tickets. You had to have the card, the casino card, and had to have a certain amount of points on it from you spending money gambling. And on top of that, you had to have a personal invite from Matchroom Boxing along with the points.
Yeah.
So then we find out we couldn't just get tickets, right? So then we go back to where the fights were.
The corner, the fight, yeah.
Around the corner was, and then there was a guy who I guess who had all the card and points and whatnot, and he had like 10 of those tickets, and he was selling them.
Hustling.
And this is like during the co-main event. So he tried to sell me and Pops 2 tickets for $100 a piece. So I look him dead in his eye and I say, $100 a piece, you out of your damn mind. The freaking co-main event is almost over. The whole card is almost over. Yeah. So I told Pops, I said, just give this guy 20 to 25 minutes and we're going to talk him down to like 30 or 40 bucks. So we talked him down to 40 bucks like 20 minutes later. We spent $80 a piece, and that's how we got into the fight.
And it was the best thing.
And it was the best thing ever. The seats were perfect.
The video thing with Eddie
Hearn. It was great. Eddie Hearn thing happened. It was just one of those great nights. It started off so shitty, but it ended up so great. You know. So that's the story of how we got into the fight.
Yeah, we didn't sneak in nothing.
We didn't sneak in. Slowtello says, "Damn, Pops, you an alpha male. Sheesh.
Yeah.
I got love for Pops. He's teaching men the way."
I just have fun with it. I get excited. I was gonna be that excited.
Huh?
I didn't think I was gonna be that excited. You told me every time, Dad, you don't even know.
You don't even know, cause that was Pops' first exposure to
live fight,
like big time boxing. Like he's got a local cards here in South Florida, which are cool. But like I've always told my dad, there's a difference when you go to these cards that are like local cards, and when you go to like the Zone, PVC, Top Rank. Yeah. Tonight he's gonna get another.
Oh, today's gonna be great.
Yeah. Fresh BX says finessing 101 school is in session. That's right. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Like, dude was trying to tell us $100. He was trying to tell us $100. I said $100. I said, motherfucker, the co-main event is almost over.
Yeah. On top of that, motherfucker, you got that as a courtesy because you spent you were an avid gambler.
Yeah.
So you still got the hustle because you still got the $80 from us or whatever we paid, and you went out to the crap table probably won twice as much.
Yeah. So
we all won in the end. It was a blessing because I would have never thought that. How the day was, what I paid for that fucking hotel. I mean, it's like you guys taking your girl to a fucking dinner, a 4-star dinner meal with your girlfriend or your girl. You want to have the food, and you get the fucking food, and it's even not even close to what you expected it to be. So you say, let me get the fuck out of here, take it somewhere else. That's exactly what we did.
That's exactly what we did. So, yeah, man, it was one of those historical nights, and we were happy to be there. And it was a good fight, man. Shout out to Liam Williams, man. I mean, Liam Williams really he was in there fighting, and he
caught
put
Andre.
We saw from our seat he buckled Andre a couple times, and he's a better fighter than I thought he was, and I give him credit. He still lost 9 rounds, but I think if that Liam Williams shows up, I'll tell you the fight I want to see, and I want to see what you think, Pops.
Mm-hmm.
The fight I want to see is Liam Williams versus Munguia.
I want that fight. You know who I'm picking?
Who you going with?
I'm motherfucking going with Williams.
Ooh,
Fuck
Munguia.
From Oscar De La Hoya and all the motherfuckers over there.
Oh.
He hasn't shown me shit.
Uh-oh.
He hasn't done nothing.
Uh-oh.
But motherfucker Liam Williams showed me a lot. He showed me a lot of heart. He's got his grit and his foreigness. He's gonna fuck up Munguia.
And he shows look, he got a little dirty in that fight, which is whatever. But like he showed in that fight, he will do whatever it takes to try to win. He didn't win because he was in there with a much better fighter than him, but he showed the willingness.
Yeah.
If he has to do whatever it takes to win, and that sort of nastiness, that sort of spite in the ring, it's gonna get. I think at some point in time he'll get a call for a big fight as the B side. It will get him over the line in a big fight. Mark my words. Liam Williams won a fan of me that night. Yeah. My man John, what up, BT and Pops? Hope all is well, guys. Oh, we're absolutely exceptional, man. We're here in the beautiful city of Kissimmee, Florida. Going to the fights later on. Berlanga is fighting, and Christopher Pitufo Diaz versus Navarrete will be here for the fights on ESPN. So we're really excited about it. We're gonna meet a couple of YouTube channels today. We're gonna meet Kind of Local Sports today, and we're gonna meet my main man, Major Key Boxing, Glenn Avery, in person today. So hopefully, I'm gonna try to do some videos with those guys, and it should be fun meeting them. I always like when I go to these fights because it's happened quite a lot over the years. I love when I go to these fights and I get to meet some of these YouTube content creators because I met a lot over the years. Like I've met Travis Gotti over the years. I've met Dante's Box Nation one time.
You just missed somebody the other day. Subscriber or somebody when we were at the fight. We got in
Texas.
Yeah.
I met Ellie Seckback.
Yeah.
I met obviously Minimax Boxing in South Florida. So it's always good to meet people in the YTBC. Fresh BX says he wants Liam Williams against Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Who's this? Oh, he does?
What do you think? What do you think about a fight between Liam Williams and Sergey Derevyanchenko?
That'd be a good fight.
That'd be an all-action fight.
It'd be a hot fight. I know Derevyanchenko probably won, but I got my Williams. Williams showed me something different.
I think Liam.
I'll tell you what. I'll put it this
I think
way.
Liam Williams could catch him at the right time.
Yeah, catch him at the right time. And
If that fight happened
for
now.
the UK fans, William won my heart over that fucking piece of shit.
Callum Smith.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, William, for the UK,
Yeah,
shout out.
I like how Callum Smith, like on the last 4 months, he just been a punching bag.
Yeah.
Like Callum Smith, man, like, come on. Paulus Lynn says it makes a change from us Brits quitting ABT. Liam, yeah, man. Look, I respect I respect the UK fighters. Much love to the UK. I got a lot of love from a lot of people in the UK, in the YTBC. But Liam Williams, he's cut from a different cloth, man. I like him. I like him. Brian Rivera says, I wish I bought tickets for the fight down in Kissimmee. The floor seats were just $110 a person. Yeah, we're not on the floor, but like the tickets I bought my tickets last week, so they weren't no $110. They were a little bit more than that. Ridiculous. Have you met the Boxing Boys? I never talked to him, but I've been in the same room with him. Like I never really felt the need to talk to Ness, but yeah, I've seen him in person. I mean, I've seen Ness in person. I've seen all these guys you guys seen on YouTube. I haven't talked to them all because they didn't talk to me and I didn't talk to them. But like, I've seen Ness in person. I've seen the Boxing Voice in person. I've seen what's his name? Boxing Ego in person. I've actually talked to Fred from Barbershop Conversations in person. I talked to him at the Chalatita Quadras fight. Sean Zattel from Fight Hype. Ellie Seckback. Michelle Phelps. I met her last year. A lot of people. I mean, you guys name the names. You guys name the names, and I'll tell you. That was my first time watching Demetrius Andrade live, not in person, not on TV. And he's so scared to root for because he looked like he was out on his feet a few times, but he wasn't. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a weird fight. You know, it was a bit of a weird fight. But he's a fantastic fighter, man. People need to stop what he's saying. He's boring.
Who's that? Who's boring?
Andrade.
That's because people don't know boxing. He wins. He's winning and he's undefeated. People don't want to go for the knockout, but you gotta understand.
Listen,
you always told me, you always say that if Boo Andre got raised to the cage with somebody else, he's gonna get better. People don't understand boxing. His style is a style why people don't want to fight him. Boo Andre's styles is why people don't want to fight him. People can say how boring he is. We as fans have our own opinions and we respect it, but again, even fucked up Porter. I like respect to Porter. What's his name?
Sean Porter?
Yeah, Sean Porter, respect to him, but he's full of shit too. He's talking about that Boo Andre was boring and this and that. Listen, motherfucker, that's his style. Nobody wants to get in the ring with him. What do you want him to do? Everybody understand that. Not the big dogs don't want to get in there with him.
There's a saying in boxing that I like it. I think it applies to a lot of his career.
Yeah.
It's an underrated phrase. It says win now and look good later.
Yeah.
Win now and look good later. Jesus M says, have you met Radio Raheem? I've met Radio. Listen, I've stayed in the same house with Radio Raheem before. We have a mutual friend, our boy Sean Zattel, who does the interviews for Fight Hype. I stayed in the same house with Radio Raheem for like a whole week. The week of Ward Kovalev 2 in 2017. We both stayed at Sean Zattel's house in Vegas. So I know Radio Raheem. He definitely knows me. Me and him actually, believe it or not, me and Radio Raheem actually almost wound up working with each other, but I decided not to do it at the time. Respect to him though. Respect to him, but I just decided not to do it. Yeah, look, Fresh BX says Demetrius Andrade has stopped or knocked down everybody he's faced at 160 but one person. That's what I'm saying.
Put respect to his name, Jesus Christ.
Lucas Eder, what's your top 5 pound for pound? My top 5 pound for pound. That's a great question. Listen, my top 5 pound for pound is just gonna be different because I penalize fighters for certain things. So like, if you're ducking a fighter, you don't even get in my top 10. So that means Canelo Alvarez ain't in it because he ducking Demetrius Andrade. Until Canelo Alvarez stops ducking Demetrius Andrade, I'm penalizing him. So if you duck fighters, you don't get on True School Sports pound for pound list. Pound for pound, top 5. I got right now. And I'm gonna say these guys are 1A and 1B. 1 and 2 on my pound for pound list are gonna be my 1A and 1B. Okay, So my pound number one, because he really won this fight and they robbed him, is Cholatito Gonzalez. Cholatito pound number one again. Gallo Estrada number two. Whoever wins the third fight can be pound number one outright. Three is Terrence Crawford. Four can be. Four I'll put Teofimo Lopez, and then five I'll put. Oh no, four I'll put Tyson Fury, and five I'll put Teofimo Lopez. What y'all think? What do y'all think about my pound list? Why not? Everybody has their own criteria, but like it's a subjective list. Like to me, Roman Gonzalez got the best resume. He really beat Gallo Estrada again. Gallo Estrada is better than almost any fighter that any of these other fighters have beat. And Gallo Estrada himself is better than most of these fighters in general. Come on, Canelo can't be ducking no one. He's fighting monsters. Cholatito is in my list. In the last 18 months, where are these monsters he's fighting? Where are they? Where are they? Hold on. Let me check under the bed. Hold on. Hold on. Let me check under the bed. Hold on. Let me get up. Let me see. Are they under here? Let me see. Callum Smith? Boo boo?
Oh shit.
Bivol? You under there?
Oh shit. Hey.
They're not there, man. They're not there.
Fucking-
I checked under the bed and all these monsters weren't there, so I don't know who are these monsters? Callum Smith?
Oh shit.
Oh, Wacky Movie Clip says, what about Inoue? Oh yeah, you're right, Inoue. Yeah, he definitely top 5 pound for pound. So listen, right now, don't take my pound for pound list serious right now.
We just talking.
Because I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
But Inoue would definitely be my top 5 pound for pound. That like these pound for pound lists, these are not things that I can just sit here and spout off the top of my head. I gotta really sit here and think about it.
Yeah.
You know. Lucas Edo says, yeah, Smith, now Saunders. Listen, I don't know if you're new around these parts, Lucas, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Callum Smith is no monster. Callum Smith was one of the weakest champions. One of the weakest champions in the entire sport of boxing. I know you're going to say he won trinkets, he was draped in belts, World Boxing Super Series, but I don't care about that because belts don't mean anything. Belts really don't mean that much anymore in boxing. The value of a world title in boxing has been so diluted, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
What matters is who did you beat to get those belts, okay? And if you look at who he beat to get those belts, he beat who he beat. He beat Eric Skoglund. He was supposed to fight Jürgen Brähmer.
Yeah.
Brähmer got injured. I think Brähmer would have beat Callum Smith too. Brähmer was replaced with Nishiki Holshkin.
Yeah.
He won that fight. Didn't look that good.
Yeah.
Fought Old George Groves,
Yeah.
and then that's what it was. He fought Old George Groves and he won and he beat him. That's his claim to fame. And then he fights John Ryder. And we were live for that fight.
Yeah.
And it was a robbery then. It was a robbery now. It was one of the worst robberies of all time. John Ryder beat the brakes off Callum Smith, and they took John Ryder's moment in the sun to become world champion just so they can keep the Canelo Alvarez payday alive. And then he fought Canelo Alvarez and sparred him and was fencing with him for 12 rounds. He's no killer. He was never a killer. Callum Smith is one of the worst. Listen, I can't stress this enough, and anytime his name comes up, I will say it. Callum Smith is one of the worst champions boxing has produced in a long time. That's why I give a lot of credit to Eddie Hearn and DAZN because they promoted him so well to trick people into thinking that this guy was some sort of killer. And I told you guys, the video is still up. I posted that video, and a month in advance before the fight, I said, Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith will not be a competitive fight at 168. Facts. That's the title of the video. It had like 47 dislikes and 47 likes and 94 dislikes, and I was watching it last night, and everything I said in that video came to pass. Oh my God. Are you serious? Lucas says, "No, I hope to God you're not talking about Callum Smith." He says, on paper, I put him on the same level as Boo Boo Andre. By the way, I really wanted another fight between the two, talking about Billy Joe Saunders. Oh, Billy Joe. Okay. Well, I'm not mad at that. I would say Billy Joe has definitely beat the better fighters because there's been more guys willing to get in the ring with him than Boo Boo Andre. I don't think, though, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't put him on the same level. I think Boo Boo Andre is about a notch above Billy Joe based on the performances. They have a common opponent. They both fought Arthur Akavov. When Billy Joe fought Arthur Akavov, he went life and death with Arthur Akavov and damn near lost his title. When Boo Boo Andre fought Arthur Akavov, he dropped him in that fight and he shut him out and didn't lose a round. So I think the level in class was shown in that fight. And You know, to me, I don't see it that way. I think Billy Joe is good. I think he's a solid, credible fight. I'm definitely not. I'm not Canelo Alvarez for this one fight. Well, I will not shit on him for this fight against Billy Joe as far as the level of competition.
Right.
But I'm gonna shit on him. It's just not gonna be for that.
Right.
I'm gonna shit on him because they're gonna stack the odds against Billy Joe like no other fighter's ever had it before. Like, cause that's what Canelo has to do to beat good fighters. He's got to stack the odds like nobody else, because he knows on an even playing field he'd probably lose to Billy Joe Saunders. So I think this is my opinion, and listen, I'm not saying this because I hate Canelo. I'm saying this based on the history, what we've seen from Canelo.
Right.
We know he's got a history of stacking his gloves, stacking his wraps, clenbuterol, cheating, all kinds of stuff. We know that boxing is a business masqueraded as a sport. We know that at Cowboy Stadium, it's going to be the first fight that, with this many people, the boxing's had in a long, long time, 70,000 people. Canelo Alvarez, for better or for worse, is a money-making machine in the sport of boxing. And do you really think that Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn are going to allow some gypsy to ruin the money-making machine that's Canelo Alvarez? I'm going to tell you this. Billy Joe Saunders could bring a shotgun to the ring that night and blow Canelo's head off, and he might not still get a draw against Canelo. That's the kind of odds he's up against. That's why I'm saying if he wins that night, he goes down to me as a first ballot Hall of Famer. And listen, I don't know I don't know when. Hopefully it's soon, but one of these days I'm gonna make a big announcement here on True School Sports, and I'm gonna have a say in what goes on with the Hall of Fame voting. So I'm letting you guys know in advance. So if Billy Joe wins this fight, I think he's Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. Because of it's not his best weight. He's fighting a great fighter. You know, I'm not gonna hate on Canelo. He's a great talent. He's an A-level fighter. He's elite, but he's someone that it's hard to beat him. Even on an even playing field, it's hard to beat Canelo because he's a good fighter. He's a fantastic fighter. But to beat Canelo with the odds stacked against him, it's just, I mean, it's damn near impossible.
You have to knock him out. He has come out with a devastating, like, no question asked victory.
Jesus M, did you hear Canelo agree with the reporter saying all these guys like Benavidez, Bivol, and BWF should all fight each other? Yeah, because he wants them to beat the shit out of each other. So by the time they get to him, they're not as strong, they're not as good. You know, he wants them wear and tear on them. And this goes back to how people talk about his career, because people say Canelo has fought all these killers and he's not. I'll give Canelo credit. He fought Austin Trout. Austin Trout was a good win. That was a good win. I won't take that from him. Lara, good win. He's got good ones on his resume. I'm not going to say he doesn't. But to sit here and act like he's got the resume of like a Chocolatito or a Pacquiao, because that's the way people talk about. People talk about his resume like Chocolatito or Pacquiao.
You got to get your rent now.
And it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And because of that, he feels that he's here and that these guys are here and that they need to raise the level here, when that's not true. I remember watching an interview with Tony Bellew saying Canelo ducks fighters. I'll give him his respect if he beats Canelo Smith. LMAO, let's do it. Well, I'm gonna tell you guys a story. You guys can go on my channel right now. There's a video clip from 2016. If you go on my channel, just go on the search bar or go on the search bar on YouTube. There's a video where it was the first time I ever met Eddie Hearn. It was at the WBC convention. I was interviewing Tony Bellew. We were walking through the halls of the Diplomat Hotel in Hollywood, Florida, where the convention was being held. And Tony Bellew was walking me over to Eddie Hearn. And Callum Smith, who I didn't even know at the time, he was there with Joe Gallagher. And Tony Bellew's like, and here we are. This is the man I wanted to see, Eddie Hearn, and he's with one of the best prospects in the world, Callum Smith.
Yeah.
Just go watch that video. And then Eddie Hearn clowned me for looking like Bruno Mars. It was a great video. The name of the title of the video, I believe, is Eddie Hearn clowns Brendan Taylor, or Eddie Hearn clowns True School Sports for looking like Bruno Mars, or something like that. Just type in Eddie Hearn Bruno Mars, or Eddie Hearn True School Sports Bruno Mars, or Eddie Hearn. You'll see it. And Callum Smith was right there, tall. He was taller than Eddie Hearn. He was taller than Tony Bellew.
Yeah,
tall. He'd been gassing him up for years before we even knew who he was. Lucas Edo Lucas is a Canelo fan. He knows this himself. You're right. You can't win by decision against Canelo. Yeah, me and my dad, right? Because my dad, I don't know how my dad never seen this fight, but my dad for some reason had never even seen the Floyd fight. So one day we were sitting around, and I said that so I put the Floyd fight on and we watched it and Pops, what were your take on the Floyd Mayweather Canelo Alvarez fight?
The movement that Floyd was putting on Canelo is something that's gonna happen to him when he fights Boo, just in a different style of way, but he's gonna have problems with the movement. The movement that Floyd was schooling him like a fucking like a red headed whore. I ain't lying to you. He was sitting in front of Canelo. Canelo was missing him left and right, dodging him here and there.
Getting countered.
Yeah, so and based on his on the quickness and speed and his foot movement and everything, and this is why people don't want to fight Boo Boo because Boo Boo might not be as legit as Floyd, but he's gonna cause a lot of problems with his movement.
So based on what you're saying, you think Billy Joe Saunders has a chance because he's got good movement.
He's got
Okay, I'm not saying to get a decision, but do you think Billy Joe Saunders has a chance to win the fight, like in the court of like public opinion, like in people's eyes, like?
No, he will never win it. They're always gonna give it to fucking
Canelo?
Yeah, even before he gets into the it's already like it's just like he said, everything's fucking already fixed. Everything's already there. He's got to go in there.
Well, what do you think about Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn's already talking about the Caleb Plant fight next.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like that's what Billy Joe was saying. Like that's very. Remember I told you that's very disrespectful of Eddie Hearn's.
Who promotes Billy Joe, by the way?
How can you sit there and say, okay, we're preparing for the next Canelo fight with LaPlante, motherfucker? That's why I'm hoping that all this motivation that he's got that Billy Joe goes into this fight. I just want him to. I wish for some powerful thing that he beats the fuck out of Canelo, like literally, because why is it blatantly disrespectful for you to disrespect even Billy Joe, the caliber fighter that he is, to even go there with that? Yeah, that's wrong. So I think Billy Joe goes in, he's got to come out with a devastating movement. I mean, devastating fight. He's got to go in attack, keep going forward, and don't let Canelo get comfortable.
Yeah.
And use his movement to his advantage.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way you're going to beat him, because if you look at Canelo, to me, it's like he's not a Mexican. He comes straight forward, trying to get you on your angles, trying to get you by the ropes, get you in the corner, and he tries to get you where he can get his shots. But if you do the movement like Floyd was doing, the movements like the way Abu Andre moves, I'm not saying Abu Andre's Floyd, but I'm saying if you got quick movement and lateral movement like that, all that shit is going to play a big part in you beating it, Canelo.
Yeah.
Or you can use the phrase that Floyd used in the second half of his career: hit and don't get hit.
There you have it. Hit nigga will get hit. Shout out to my main man out there in Australia, Jed Kyle. He said, "What's up, my bro? What's up, my bro? What's up, Jed? Shout out to you in Australia, Jed. Good to see you." Oh shit, we got the fighting news. One of South Florida's very own.
What's up, fighting news? Shout out.
I don't know if that's Steve. I don't know if that's Matt. I don't know if that's
Whoever it is,
Melissa,
respect.
whoever. But shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to you. He says boxing is flourishing in Florida. Many fighters and promoters are coming here. Yeah, they are, and it's good for the whole boxing scene. Fresh BX, I'm gonna get to this question because I missed his comment earlier. He says, "How do you feel about hand stacking? Fighters stacking their reps? I think it's bad for. I think it's ridiculous. Listen, you're a trained professional fighter. You can punch holes through walls. That's all you do is train to punch people. You don't need to stack your hands if you have proper technique. So for you to stack your reps in any sort of way, any fighter who stacks their reps is a piece of shit. I'm sorry. There's just no way around it. They're cheating themselves. They're cheating the sport. The integrity of the sport. And like Canelo Alvarez, when he fought Liam Smith, he stacked his reps. It's a fact. It's not even debatable. He stacked his reps against Liam Smith.
Jesus.
And he still went like 7 or 8 rounds with him. Sorry ass. If Canelo doesn't knock out Billy Joe, will he be able to knock out Demetrius Andrade? Personally, to me, this is why I'm saying Canelo Alvarez is gonna keep fighting these guys. He can outclass because he wants to maintain that aura of invincibility. But really, if you're really watching these fights at 168, Canelo Alvarez doesn't have he doesn't have like elite power like that at 168. He had Callum Smith standing in front of him for 12 rounds and come to survive and couldn't get him out of there. Sure, he beat him up. Yeah, sure, he gave him a slow methodical beating, but he didn't get him out of there. He didn't show that extra bit of quality to get him out of there.
They didn't chop that tree.
So, I think his power is overrated. I really do. Personally, for me, I mean, I don't know about 168, but I truly believe that Demetrius Andrade, if they both fight, will be the harder puncher when they fight. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Jed Kyle says Florida is flourishing in boxing, especially with South Florida's very own Teofimo Lopez being the number one 135 pounder. Well, listen, Jed, I think you were there this morning when I was on the MXBC in the chat. You know, hey man, I'm telling you, if Teofimo Lopez says one more fucking thing about Brooklyn, I'm about to like I love him. Like I love him. You know, shout out to Junior. Junior may come in and watch this. Whatever. Junior can get mad, but look, he's one more. If he makes one more statement about Brooklyn, if I swear, I'm gonna go to every gym that he sparred at. I'm gonna interview every sparring partner he had when he was here, and we're gonna like really expose Teofimo Lopez because it's starting to piss me off. Like I love the guy. He's one of my favorite fighters. Hopefully, I meet him in person soon and I can interview him so I can ask him these questions to his face. He's not a New Yorker. He is not a New Yorker. Teofimo Lopez grew up in Pembroke Pines, Florida. He learned how to box at the Davy Powell, and he went to fucking high school at Western High School in Pembroke Pines, or no, in Davy. If you don't believe me, I will make a whole video about it, and I will show you the receipts. I'm not one to just talk. I'm the untouchable for a reason. All right, I'm not one to just talk. I will prove. I have the receipts.
We're not trying to hate on him. Just if you're gonna give credit to Brooklyn based on your father being from Brooklyn, New York, and you're a New Yorker, be honest with yourself and say, wait, where did my boxing ground?
That's like me, right? That's like me, right?
Where did I plant the seed at? The seed was planted at Davy Powell, straight up.
T.O.'s accent is from New York. We are claiming him. Listen.
Oh, you claim him. Hey.
Listen, hold on. Teofimo Lopez wouldn't know the fucking A train from the L train in New York. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, bro, he doesn't know the A train from the L train from none of them trains in New York. I probably know the train system in New York better than T.O. And I'm not even from New York.
And like I said, we're not trying to. I just want to clip. We're not trying to hate on the thing. We're just saying.
No, look. Look. It's just frustrating, right? Because look, I'll tell you guys a story, and I told the story quite a few times. So, I never, like me personally, I never pursued boxing as far as fighting. You know, I've sparred a number of rounds, and I plan on sparring some more rounds when I get back to South Florida. You know, with some good fighters, some top fighters and whatnot. But literally, with T.O., I know he's from South Florida because when I was training at there's a place where I'm from in Dania Beach called Canino's Boxing Gym, okay? And I sparred. One of my main sparring partners there, who's a professional fighter now. He hasn't won any fights. He's 0-2. He's had some two close fights and whatnot that could have went either way, and he's 0-2 right now. Hopefully he gets his career on track. But I used to spar a fighter named Gabriel Chacon, good amateur here in South Florida. And Gabriel Chacon fought Teofimo Lopez in the Florida Golden Gloves. He lost to Lopez, like everybody lost to Lopez in the Florida Golden Gloves. And basically, Teofimo Lopez, I used to hear it before any of y'all knew who he was. I know who he was because I used to hear his name all the time in the gym. Teofimo. So when I hear him talk about New York, I'm like, when? You know, I got a friend. You know, and I'm gonna interview him soon, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this. I got a friend named Dominique Trap Francis, who's 9-0 with 6 KOs. He's at 122. He's one of the best kept secrets in boxing. He's one of the best prospects at 122 that nobody's heard of yet, but you will assume. When Teofimo Lopez was getting ready for the JO Nationals and the US Nationals, these national tournaments in America, his main sparring partner was Dominique Trap Francis. I can show you the pictures from Club KO Boxing Gym to prove it. I can show you all these things. And I'll interview him. We'll get to the bottom of this. You know, and he's not the only one. I've talked to young fighters here, fighters that are pro and fighters that are amateur, that when they hear Teofimo say these things, they confuse and they don't like it. It rubs a lot of people the wrong way. So I'm just saying, I'm not the only one. I'm just the voice of South Florida, so you're hearing it from me. I'm the one with the platform. I'm the one with the channel. I'm just bringing it to everybody's attention, but...
like I said, we're not trying to hate what you say.
Fresh BX says, I'm from New York. I know when a fighter has New York in him. Well, I don't know, man. Hey, look, I love New York. God bless New York. I'm not sure if you want to have New York in him because most of these New York fighters lose all the big fights. You know, Zab Judah lost most of his big fights. Mike Tyson lost most of his big fights. You know, one of the only New York fighters that won his big fights was Riddick Bowe. You know, God bless it. Listen, I love New York, respect to New Yorkers, but like,
he can have that. New
South Florida is grimy too. It's not just New York ain't the only grimy place in the world.
He can have that New York toughness, and that came from his father, from his friend Robert Waffle and Ham. That's why he's like that.
Slotel is confused. He says, wait, Teofimo was born and raised in Florida and moved to New York when he turned pro, and now he claims New York. No. I'm gonna tell you the story. So Teofimo Lopez's father is from Brooklyn, okay? But Teofimo Lopez did not grow up in Brooklyn. Teofimo Lopez grew up in Pembroke Pines, Florida. He went to Western High School and he learned to box at the Davy Powell, all in South Florida. He doesn't live. To my knowledge, he doesn't live in New York now. He had a house in Arkansas with his wife, where her family lives, and now he just relocated to Vegas because he said that in a Fight Hype interview recently. So, he may be from Brooklyn, and New York might be more marketable than Florida. But guess what? New York ain't putting on no fucking fights. Florida is. So he better start claiming his roots real soon.
Yeah.
Straight up, man. Straight
like
up.
I said, what it does is if you put your time into this.
Hold on. Listen, everybody says that New York is more marketable than Miami. I don't know, man. What's more marketable than Miami? Who would want to come to Miami? Because I'll tell you this. I know this from going to sporting events when the South Florida teams play the New York teams. I know plenty of New Yorkers who move to South Florida, but I'll tell you this: I don't know no South Floridians who move to New York voluntarily.
Oh,
if you live in Miami or you from South Florida, no, you don't move to New York unless you have a job or you get work or you have family up there. I've never heard of that in my life, but I know plenty of people. I've seen it going to school. I know plenty of people that moved to Dania Beach and Fort Lauderdale, Miami from the Bronx and Brooklyn because they wanted to get out of New York. So I'm just saying, man, like,
I mean, always saying is
y'all gonna put respect on South Florida.
If you don't take pride, if you don't take pride in the fighter that claims, then be like one of those people that come from different countries and they're dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing should be said about Teofimo. If you're gonna give credit to Brooklyn, New York, whatever,
yeah,
you better put us up there too with
that's
them.
it.
In Brooklyn,
Florida had.
I'm from Brooklyn, yeah, but I really started in Davie, Florida.
Yeah,
I'm from here, but I really started in South Florida.
Florida.
Put us on a map like you're supposed to.
Jed Kyle said Florida had way better fighters last 30 years than New York. Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, Keith Thurman, Winky Wright, and let's keep going. Glenn Johnson, Randall Bailey.
Oh, shit.
The list goes on and on. I mean, he may not say Teofimo Lopez himself, and then I'm telling you, Xander Zayas fighting tonight. Xander Zayas from South Florida. Xander Zayas, Aaron Aponte, who just fought last week from South Florida. You got Dominique Francis, Lawrence Newton, my man Steve Gaffard, who was beating the shit out of everybody in the amateurs. Steve Gaffard.
Jesus.
I'm gonna put y'all on game, man, because people be disrespecting
Florida.
No, not just Florida, but where I'm from, the South Florida area, and it pisses me off. I mean, come on, man.
Thing is, New York is the mecca of everything. So you say New York and all over, boom. You know.
The mecca of what? Everybody says the mecca of what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The mecca of what? Losing? Daniel Jacobs loses. Daniel Jacobs loses all of his big fights. Mike Tyson lost all of his big fights. Zab Judah lost most of his big fights. Who wins big fights from New York? Chris Colbert? Come on, man. I had a friend. Listen, I'm not gonna name his name. I had Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert came to South Florida. He came to Miami. I'm not gonna name no names. But Chris Colbert, who's from Brooklyn, came to South Florida. He came to Miami and got the shit beat out of him from South Florida fighters, who I'm not gonna name. There's a lot of talent here, but I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. The problem with South Florida and Miami in general is that there's a lot of distractions here. This is a vacation destination. We got some of the baddest bitches and the most beautiful women in the world. You got the clubs, the nightlife, and if you're not a disciplined person, South Florida will bring in. You'll find out real quickly. So a lot of times, there's a lot of great fighters that people never hear about because they get distracted and they don't make it because they get caught up in all the bullshit here. But there's a lot of great fighters here. But shout out to Jed Kyle. He says Jeff Lacey from Tampa, Andre Berto from not too far from Miami himself, Andre Berto. Who else? I mean, there's been a lot. There you go. Fresh BX says Tio did beat up Colbert. That's true. I'm not even talking about Teofimo Lopez. I'm talking about somebody that you guys don't even know about, whose name I'm not gonna say on here. If you pay attention to my upcoming interviews, you might get your answer.
Yeah.
But there's a fighter from South Florida who recently sparred with Chris Colbert in Miami that beat him up. Well, I can't say who he is, but all I'm saying is just pay attention to my interviews over the next 2 weeks, and you're real close, and you'll see this fighter mention Chris Colbert. He's the guy that sparred him is 4-0. But I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get in trouble. I just know that Chris Colbert came to Miami. He came to a gym here, and he didn't have a good time. That's what I heard. Was Tia born in New York but raised in Florida? And if so, what age did Tia move to Florida? Well, he might have been born in, I don't know. Maybe he was born in New York. It might have been similar to me because, technically with me, I wasn't even born in Florida. I was born in North Carolina because my dad was in the Army. But I lived in Florida my whole life, pretty much. So I always say South Florida. He was born, I'm pretty sure, he might have been born in New York, but I know he was like a lot of people that I grew up with. He was born in New York and the family relocated to South Florida when he was really, really young. So his formative years, when, he probably learned how to piss and shit and ride a bike and box and talk to girls all in South Florida. So I always say, look, if you go to a place and that's where you learn how to do those things, then you gotta you gotta claim that place. Hashman Boxing, what's good, champ? I'm good, man. Hope you're well. Me and Pops were here, out here in Kissimmee, Florida, getting ready to go to these fights in a second. I'm about to get off this live soon.
Eat breakfast, brunch.
Gotta eat breakfast soon. Jermaine Ortiz an average dude, but he got whooped by Boots by Jerome Ennis and Hitchison in the amateurs. New York Rican culture is more marketable, like Edgar Berlanga. Yeah, but Edgar Berlanga is actually from New York. He's actually from New York. Teofimo Lopez wouldn't. I guarantee you, I know more than New York about Teofimo Lopez. He may have fought there more than me, but I guarantee you, I could go to New York. I could put him on in New York. I'm sick of him saying he's from New York, man. Like, TS True School Sports. Are there any young fighters in South Florida in each division that I should watch out for? Oh man, there's a lot of them. Just any fighter from South Florida. Yeah. At 122, so I'm gonna put you on. So at 122, you got my at 122, you have my friend Dominique Trap Francis. He's 9-0 with 6 KOs. He was Teofimo Lopez's main sparring partner his whole entire amateur career and for part of his pro. I think just before he turned pro. Fantastic fighter, very fast, super speed, good combinations. You'll be hearing about him in the future. He's only 20 years old, very young, so he's gonna mature. He's gonna get better. He's very good at 122, so watch out for him. You got Lawrence Newton at 118, another good fighter. Might be the most talented fighter in all of South Florida, but just can't seem to get his promotional stuff straightened out. So look out for him. You got Isaiah Night Thompson, cruiserweight prospect, 3-0, 3 knockouts, all in the first round. I'm not saying he's as good as this guy, but his style and his body type is just like Mike Tyson. You got him. You got who else? You got my boy at 135, who's 4-0, 3 KOs. Eric Lanzis Jr., another good fighter. Lot of good fighters, man. Antonio Bang Williams, he's another good one at 135. Marcel Man Ballatier, he's at 122 as well. He's like 4-0 himself. So there's a lot of fighters that people haven't heard of yet. I mean, there's videos of some of their fights on my channel. There's interviews of these guys on my channel. But you guys are gonna hear about these names in the future. Maybe not right now, but I would highly advise for you guys to definitely watch. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a video of all these guys so you guys know who to watch out for. Beat C, let's say a black guy was born in China but was raised in Texas. Would you say he's from China or he's from Texas? If a black guy was born in China but raised in Texas?
He was born in China.
He was born in China, but if he learned how to piss, shit, talk to girls, box, and do everything he's ever learned in his life in Texas, he's from Texas.
He just basically saying his birth certificate. Well, he's justifying his birth certificate say he was born in China and he's Chinese.
Ask anybody in boxing. New York has more lineage in boxing. Jacobs, Tyson, Bo, Zab, Iran Barkley, Jake LaMotta, Wilfred Benitez. Put some respect on the city. I like New York. I'm not saying, listen, I respect New York. All I'm saying, man, is I'm sick of people disrespecting Florida, at the whole state in general, for fighting. But if you want to talk about recent history, Florida taking a dump in New York. When was the last time New York City had a pound king? When was the last time New York City had a pound king of boxing? Because Tio from South Florida, he about to be in pound king soon. That's what I'm saying. Jack Kyle. Kyrie Irving was born in Australia. It doesn't make him Australian. He grew up in the USA. Exactly. He played for Team USA. Tia says, have you thought about doing more collaborative videos with BFTV Boxing and H Money with Supreme Best Boxing? No, because well, BFTV, he don't really like me. You know, I went to his channel. You know, we had that one time where I trolled him because I was bored and I was in the UK, and then I went to his channel and I talked to him, and you know, he ran like an emotional female. He ran his mouth and yelled like an emotional female. What did he say, Pop? He said you don't talk you don't talk or you don't come to my channel and talk over me. You talk with me.
This is my channel.
Bitch nigga.
Yeah, fuck nigga.
Oh man. Do you agree? So yeah, to answer your question, no, that's not gonna happen. But God blessed him. You know, hopefully he
No hate, appreciate. Anybody?
I like look. Fresh BX says, man, TS from New York. His pops instilled that New York in him. No, absolutely not. He may be from New York, and his pops may have instilled a certain grittiness in him. But that grittiness wasn't refined in New York City. It was refined in boxing gyms all across South Florida, getting punched in the mouth by Dominique Trap Francis and Aaron Aponte and South Florida people. His grittiness was when he fought Lomachenko and he fought him in that 12th round and he bit down on that mouthpiece and he was landing them hard body shots. That wasn't New York City throwing them punches. That was Pembroke Pines. That was Dania Beach. That was Hollywood. That was Miami. That was the whole South Florida. Did you hear Canelo agree with the reporter that Bivol, Benavidez, and Benavidez should all fight each other? I mean, I didn't necessarily hear about it, but it's not surprising. It sounds like a punk ass thing Canelo would say, because he don't want to fight nobody.
Any of those fights would probably destroy fucking Canelo.
Let's see, Mal Naji is the pound for pound king after the Broner fight. He put on a mass class against the new Floyd. He did. Yo, Broner was looking sensational. Broner was like throwing all these combinations, looking great. And you know, he fought Paulie Malignaggi. He fought a dude from Bensonhurst. He fought an Italian dude from Bensonhurst, and he didn't know what to do with himself. New York City claims Tio because he's winning. Once he loses, he'll claim Florida. No, we won't accept him. In fact, I'll tell you this, I love Tio, and I really do wish him the best for his career. I hope he goes and becomes pound for pound king. He becomes undisputed. He does all these things. But I sincerely hope he never loses before I meet him. Because if we don't clear this up before I meet him, I'll tell you this. If I don't meet him before the Kambosos fight and George Kambosos does the unthinkable and like knocks him out or something, I'm going to say that would have never happened if he was from South Florida. Because he's from Brooklyn.
You flip the script.
We go and chop it up in person. Fresh BX says, we go and chop it up in person about this. I'm going to run into you. Okay, no problem, man. At least we agree on the Woo Android thing. It's about what he claims. If he says he's from New York, why would Florida want to claim him? Well, it's not really about us wanting to claim him. It's more about being truthful and honest, you know? It's more about being truthful and honest and telling the real story.
You never forget where you came from.
You never forget where you came from.
Straight up.
You can go to videos. You can go to videos right now on this channel of him at Davey Powell when he was a jit. And you know what? Y'all got me fired up. I'm gonna go to every gym in South Florida, and anybody who fucking met Teofimo Lopez, I'm gonna make them tell a story about Teofimo Lopez. This is gonna get put out there because I'm sick of it, man.
And what's funny is behind the scenes.
Wait, hold on. It's not about us wanting to claim him. It's about telling the truth.
We're claiming him. The thing is, a lot of people that actually put time in with him. Prime example, the defensive.
Jorge Rubio. Jorge Rubio. He gets hired. He gets hired. Jorge Rubio to be to join this team and to help him work on his defense and his footwork. Do you know where Jorge Rubio is from? Do you know where his gym has been at his whole life? South Florida. Do you know where Teofimo Lopez knows Jorge Rubio from? South Florida. Do you know where Teofimo Lopez where he met Jorge Rubio and when he was a boy?
And Rubio
he's come to Rubio's gym. That was all in South Florida. Stop playing with me.
And Rubio called it out to his father, senior, and told him, "Your boy's gonna be something big."
Yeah.
To this day, and that's why one of the reasons why a heads up, a little how Brian would say, little hint. That's to this day, Senior went back to Rubio, not just because of how good of a great coach he is today and what he's done with all the past fighters, but because Senior female, Tio Lopez remembers when he was one of the coaches that called it out and said, you know what? Your son's going to be something great.
Anthony Mazzano says, two school sports, what weight divisions in boxing are best represented in South Florida or in general? Historically, I mean, we're all over the place. You know, like, we've had Glenn Johnson's at light heavyweight do their thing. We've learned. We've had like Antonio Tarver, light heavyweight. We've had Randall Bailey. I think he won a title at 147 or 140. But I would say right now, I would say from 122 to 135. I think all the best young fighters from our area are all in that range. Dominique Trap Francis, Marcel Barletier, Aaron Aponte, Xander Zayas. Just all them fighters. So I would say 122 to 135 right now. But to me, I'm not gonna say he's the best prospect, but I'm gonna say the most exciting and the most intriguing prospect from South Florida right now is a kid from Fort Lauderdale by the name of Isaiah Night Thompson. He's about 5'10". He's maybe about 200 pounds, rock solid, 210, 205.
Yeah.
He's built. Picture a young Mike Tyson's frame, like that body. Speed, power, angles, all that stuff. He only has 3 fights. He's 3-0 with 3 knockouts, all in the first round. He's on his Edgar Berlanga shit right now. He's fighting next Saturday. He's fighting next Saturday in Weston, Florida, which is part of South Florida. Weston, Florida, and we'll be at that card. We're gonna have Isaiah Night Thompson, Fresh BX. There's a fighter from New York. Now, speaking of New York, I'll tell you about a fighter from New York that I like a lot. I saw him spar recently. Great, fantastic fighter. There's a fighter from New York. And he's one of the best kept secrets in the welterweight division. He's 11-0 with 7 knockouts, but he hasn't been able to get his career going the way he wants it to because of managerial issues. But a fighter by the name of Pete Dobson, Pistol Pete Dobson. He's headlining next week in South Florida, and he's from New York. He's from the Bronx. But he said that he told me in the gym recently. He said he told me himself. He said if Teofimo Lopez is from Brooklyn, then I guess I'm from Florida. So we claiming Pete Dobson now.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete. He from South.
Shout out to Pistol Pete.
He's from Hollywood.
And when he talked to the Untouchable, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
Family.
Fresh BX says we just talking shit. It's all good. I know all the stuff already about Florida. It's not news to me. I know you know your stuff, Fresh BX. Listen. If you're talking all the sense about Demetrius Andrade, I know you know about boxing, so I know we're just talking shit. Slowtell says John Cena is greater than the Florida's very own The Rock. Absolutely not. I love John Cena, but he's not better than The Rock.
Wrestling.
Roy Jones Jr. is my all-time favorite, and I got family in Miami. Absolutely, man. Shout out to Roy Jones. Don't most of the Puerto Rican and Cuban fighters train in South Florida? Yeah, they do. I mean, we got I haven't put it out yet, but my dad did we got Juan Carlos Payano, Rantis Bartholomew. Oh, Michelle Rivera, another one from South Florida. Michelle Rivera, Payano, Michelle Rivera, Bartholomew, Luis Ortiz. Who am I missing? Hey, we in South Florida. We also claim Philip Hergovic because he's from South Florida. He's always training.
Crazy, shout out.
So if Jorge Masvidal wins tonight, is Florida gonna throw him a parade? Yeah, he will. I mean, personally, I don't care because MMA is trash and I don't like it. Like that's not my cup of tea. But yeah, Masvidal is huge. I mean, the other day, me and my dad were driving down downtown Miami, and I saw they had a Jorge Masvidal
poster or something.
Yeah, they had a poster, a big billboard of him. So if he wins, I'll be happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my man knows Pete. Yeah, Pete's pretty good. Pete's a hell of a fighter. He sparred a lot of good fighters. He sparred Jerron Ennis. He sparred Terrence Crawford. He sparred Maurice Hooker. He sparred a lot of good fighters. He fought on the untelevised portion of the Manny Pacquiao Thurman undercard. That was his last fight about a year and a half ago. Had some managerial issues, so now he's relocated to Florida. He's getting himself situated. He's headlining here next Saturday. I'll be at that card as well. I got a couple of interviews coming out with him soon, and we're gonna have a lot of stuff with Pistol Pete Dobson coming out soon here on True School Sports. So watch out for him, man. He's a hell of a fighter. I had a chance to watch him spar 5 rounds with Rob Duran Jr., Roberto Duran's son, another good welterweight fighter. He's like 6-1 with 5 KOs. Strong fighter. Still learning on the job because he didn't have a big amateur background. And it was great. I'm not gonna get too deep into what happened, but it was fantastic. It was one of the best sparring sessions I've ever seen in my life. It was great. When Miguel Cotto was in his prime, did he train directly out of Puerto Rico, or was he training in Miami for most of his major fights? No, Cotto only trained in Miami for one fight. He trained with Pedro Diaz for the Floyd Mayweather fight, and that was it. It was just a one-off fight. And Pedro Diaz, he did a great job preparing him.
Boxing, baby.
Listen, my dad.
No boxing, baby.
That's his guy.
Pedro Diaz. You need to go look him up. Look him up on YouTube. He's one of the best trainers out here. No disrespect to any other trainers in Florida, because they all represent the 954-305. That's all I gotta say.
There you go, man. But listen, man. Look, I'm gonna get. You got anything to say? I'm about to end
No,
this.
thank you guys for being here, taking your time and speaking to us. It's all, anytime we talk boxing, whether we agree, disagree, whatever it is, it's all fun. We get our facts. We all get our own opinion, and we can say, you know what? This is why it's called the Untouchable True School Sports. You can talk whatever you want. Thank you so much. God bless. Hit that like button, and we'll see you soon.
There you have it. So that's Pops. And yeah, y'all make sure you take care of yourselves today. We'll be at the fights here in Kissimmee. We're gonna go eat right now. Then we're gonna go get in touch with kind of local sports and see which hotel this is at, and maybe who knows, y'all might get some surprise interviews today. You just don't know where the hell, what the hell's gonna happen today, and that's part of that's gonna be that. Just keep your eyes peeled. Put your notifications on the channel, because something's gonna happen today. Something good's gonna happen today. But we'll be at the fights. We'll probably come back live after the fights tonight and talk to you guys, and then recap what happened and whatnot. But you guys be safe. God bless everybody. Enjoy the fights, and keep watching the channel. There's a lot of good interviews coming out, with a lot of footage coming out, training footage and things like that. And yeah, man, you guys take care of yourself. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Hold on. Yvonne Nicholas, he said lump on cash. What are you talking about? You gonna PayPal me soon again, champ? Because my man John the Gambler, he be coming through. He comes through a lot.
God bless him.
I'm waiting for John. What does he mean lump on cash? Is he gonna? I think he's talking about the betting with Usman and Masvidal. Is that what he's talking about?
Is Usman any good?
We watched that fight. That was the fight where Masvidal was getting his toe stomped and they were on the ground.
Yeah.
The submissions. Today, the rematch is today. Brendan Tobin, he's in Jacksonville. I think he's in Jacksonville.
He's gonna watch that?
He's there for it right now.
Probably Kevin's up there.
Maybe. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. You take care.
God bless, guys. Thank you.
Oh, he said he's going on Felix Cash. Okay, all right.